White Walker-perpetuated offenses are considered especially heinous. In Westeros, 4 dedicated friends investigate and discuss these vicious episodes as members of an elite squad known as A Podcast Has No Name.
That's what it is. We need to have a blood magic button. Blood magic, just press it when we do it live. Oh, man, she's talking about herself in fucking third person. All right.
It says announce yourself.
It does.
You have to listen to the
All I know is I was talking when I announced myself, and they just kept talking. And then Afro's like, Afro, and they're like, oh, there's Afro. Let's talk about Afro.
Yo, these hateful-ass dudes.
They're so fucking hateful.
There we go.
I don't know what happened.
So can I just say, I was fucking standing up cheering, okay? I have not done that, and I realized that all those moments before when I stood up and cheered have all been Danny related as well. So when she birthed the dragon, when she fucking got her enslavers and burned them motherfuckers, I was also standing and screaming. So great fucking episode. I'm so excited to talk about it.
All right,
when that
do it
happens,
right. Everybody introduce themselves. We didn't do that last time. Nobody knows who they are.
Oh, there was something.
Alphabetically.
Okay.
Okay. I'm DJ Aphrodisiac, a.k.a. Jamaica Eel. That's too much. That's too much. I'm going to start over.
There we go. You know I'm not going to edit it. That's all staying on.
No. We get.
All right.
Here's the thing. We get better with every podcast, right? That's the point. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you have to edit just us getting on the call.
Yeah, I agree.
Sir,
this thing has to go up tomorrow. Guys,
it's going to take. Do you have to cut the tape and then put it together?
I know he looks like he got like 7 tracks to edit.
Yeah,
one long.
It's reel to reel. Yes, I have to cut the tape.
Mix down. It's on magnetic tape. In 2017.
You have to keep it away. You have to keep it away. Any magnets, it will erase the tape.
Oh, man. What's next?
So all of this is just supposed to be an intro. So, one more time. Take 2.
I'm DJ Aphrodisiac.
You didn't have to say it so fast.
Okay.
That was totally opposite of what you did.
I think we need to.
Yep, that's it.
I think we need to take 3, and I think that. I think that.
Okay,
hold on.
What are we saying for this intro?
Hear me out. Hold on. Hear me out. I think that DJ Ambush, once she finishes, you have to remember that it's your turn.
Oh no,
yeah.
I remember it's my turn. I just
there was quite
expect that abrupt, like wait a minute.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna have to edit down.
Go, AKA Daddy Fat Facts, AKA, I was gonna do all that, but it was too much. So.
And this is why I'm saying this should not be edited out because it's hilarious.
Okay. Let's do it one more time.
I'm not doing it again, so you can go ahead, man.
We lost cooperation within the first 47 seconds.
Oh man, the Dothraki hordes have split us apart. All right.
All right, well, she introduced herself. Everybody else?
I'm DJ Ambush. What's happening?
What's happening? My name is Curly Castro, a.k.a. The Magnificent. You can
I was going to use that. Damn it. I'm Lady Morgana.
And we are a podcast.
And we are a podcast has no name.
Has no name. We'll
come up with a better tagline. We need a tagline.
Guys, we're all going to work on that, listeners.
Any suggestions? What do we say? Leave them in the comments. Don't you say that every time?
Leave it in the comments because Ambush is certainly not going to edit any of this out. So
no, it's not. It's all gold. It's all gold.
The tag. Lannister gold or? Tyrell?
Yeah. Tyrell gold.
All right.
So we do have an outline. We do have assignments, and we're going to do this hopefully in a better order and not talking over each other like we did the first episode.
We're definitely going to talk over each other. It's already telegraphed.
We're gonna work really hard, Castro. Remember, throughout the week we've thought about this.
If you agree with working hard, leave it in the comments.
This was not a part of the discussion, by the way. He's already gone rogue. So we're going to start with the opening scene of episode 4 of season 7 of Game of Thrones. DJ Amber.
Spoils of war.
So, does anyone know if this was the particular episode that got leaked, or were there more episodes? Was this the episode everyone's been talking about all week?
I didn't look into that. I was not trying to be tempted in those ways.
I do actually know that this was a leaked episode, and I'm proud of all of us for not jumping on the leak.
Right, Castro?
But I do.
She just means me. She just means me.
I just mean ambush.
Yeah.
It was only a 40p version, so I heard it was like really shoddy. Like,
it sounded. Yeah, what I heard was it wasn't a great watch, like quality wise, but that for those people that want to know before everyone else, it was gold. They got their TMZ on.
I did watch 3 seconds of the scene with Brienne and
what?
Arya
and Arya. Like, I started and then I stopped myself because it was like on my YouTube feed. I worship YouTube, so somebody had one that. But I was acting like it was one of those preview scenes, the HBO show. But I didn't watch it. I watched 3 seconds.
You lied to yourself.
I liked how he acted like to himself that he was watching a preview.
He lied to himself.
I mean, the things that we do to justify bullshit is pretty incredible as people.
That is hilarious.
I guess I should ask one more question before. I have one more question before we get rolling. Are we on a time constraint?
I personally set aside 2 hours for this because it was such a good episode. So I got time.
You are so amazing, Ash.
Okay, you are the salt of the earth, girl.
I mean, everybody else did that too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
at least an hour and a half.
We pretty much look at it like once the call is done, then we can resume our life. Like that's the kids will eat at some point.
It's like an episode. The entire world stops until the screen goes black.
Yes.
Almost definitely. Don't call me. Don't knock on my door.
And we can't be. Castro's no way he's going to sleep early tonight on this one. This episode was too good.
No, I actually get amped up and I recalibrate my internal clock and I'm ready.
There we go. So Amber, hit us with the opening scene.
Right. So opening scene, we're watching the loot train on its mission to get the gold back to Cersei. Oh, so they can deliver it to the Iron Bank, actually. I'm going to be honest. I didn't see any foreshadowing of anything still happening to them. I honestly was like, again, everything's moving so quickly. Wow, Cersei's about to make this payoff. It's about to be all good in the hood. And I didn't have a problem with Bronn saying, "Where's my castles?" Like, Jamie tried to make it seem like he was being unreasonable because he just got paid. Listen, if you owe me $500 and you just gave me $200 and I've been waiting months for this $500, you can't say, "But I just gave you $200." Fam, you still owe me $300. I get to complain about that. I get to bring that up.
I feel like it was a little petty because I'm sorry. I feel like I had a problem with it because it was like, all right, even if I say that's your castle, what you gonna do? Start putting up drapes tomorrow? Like, you ain't got time for that shit. We in the middle. We got mad other things to do right now, and
but I also think
you asking me about a castle and I just gave you a bag of gold.
But it was showing Bronn's character, like, Bronn under normal circumstances would have been gone before. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have even got cool with, like, to me, I thought Bronn was going off character when he went down to Dorne, because they kept, pushing the promise. He already had that keep with that fat wife. So that was already in place. They were gonna kill her sister or something like. Oh, he was gonna kill the sister, and they were gonna take that whole thing. So, I mean, it just shows you the Brown, eyes always on the prize. But again, we'll see evidence later that he really did act out of character, in a big way.
Right. I agree with Castro in that, and it was annoying to me that. But it is who Braun is. Braun is a sellsword. He is not there to be a part of everybody else's army. He's there to get paid. He's here to fuck shit up, get paid, and then go fuck shit up somewhere else.
It's condescending to keep Braun of the Blackwater. It's like we're pacifying you with this fake title.
Yeah.
Braun of the Water? Or what? What is it? You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? He's still on his chaos ladder climb. So
I'm not mad at him for the reminder. I'm not mad at him for the reminder of. Don't forget, bro. We did talk castle around here. But
it's
that timing, just back to. Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yes.
Because, I mean, that's what I would have did. Like, I'm judging him, but I would have been like, so we going to talk about my castle or nah?
Do you remember that castle? Yeah, I mean, it's totally what Afro was saying. Like, it's you don't have time right now. You're still on the clock. And he's like, nah, you just paid me, so I'm no longer on the clock. I'm ready to go.
Right.
But
like
but also... Yeah, go ahead.
Bringing that point of him being a sellsword, yeah. Nah, he's really not on the clock. Jamie's been treating him like this is his trusted companion, and we're just going to ride this all the way out. Fam, after every battle, I can clock out. Like, I'm a sellsword. I'm done right now.
Right.
It's not my job to just be hanging out with you guys. Like, come on.
But it also would have been more fluid in Essos where this kind of thing is commonly practiced. You know what I'm saying? Over here in Westeros, there's a lot of committed houses and armies that are being borrowed and traded. You know what I'm saying? So I just, Brian is the exception to the rule, I think. It's interesting that he's even there, considering we know what he is. And like I'm saying, like he went down to Dorne, he stuck around. Like he knows they're dangling a carrot for him.
Well,
so
and he certainly
brought it back up.
And he certainly has a loyalty to Jamie and to Tyrion that goes beyond the sellsword Bron. So I also don't think it would be crazy for Jamie to think this isn't over yet because we're not home. I don't think it's crazy for him to be like, we're still on travel right now. We're getting back.
But
I think it was crazy for Jake to be like, bro, you're not getting anything yet. Talk to me once we're done with the whole war, and then we can get done. Yeah.
Like Am said it.
Also,
like, what is he just
again, I think it goes back to class because, I think it's not a big deal to Jamie. Jamie he won for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's, the way that someone like Braun and me would be like, well, where's that next thing that you promised me? Jamie's like, I mean, we got a whole bunch of other shit going on, but also, like, whatever, like, get you a little castle. Like, I got 10 of them.
I'm going to get you that little castle.
He hit him with the janky promoter joint. Like, we didn't get all the people we expected to come out. So, I was supposed to pay you. Are you going to be around?
You going to be around?
Yeah. For a minute, right?
Right, you're going to be here for a minute, right? You still got to pack up.
Hang to the end of the night. And then I'll go behind that secret wall just like in Atlanta because I swear that was like true stuff. That wasn't no fake shit. That was real.
That was. I think it straight disappeared on the wall.
That has to be a trigger warning for all three of y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we could go the whole rest of the episode
could be about
I'm triggered.
2 o'clock hunt when you're hunting that nigga down. The bar is my monkey. But you're not 60% of the 20, and did you sell any merch? What, nigga? Like, so I'm stopping myself right now.
See, triggered.
You
Am's analogy was too real.
More if you go out to a port town in Portland, Maine, and it's dark as shit, and then nobody comes to your show, and they're looking at you like, well, Johnny's not Johnny. You give me the money, you get your money back from Johnny. You're gonna throw this in the water. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually time when they introduce a completely different name you never heard of. This third party that's supposed to be something
it's like
else.
A fifth party.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
It's like, wait a minute.
This person might not even exist, Johnny. Whoever this guy is.
But also, Johnny definitely lives in like Portugal. Like he's not anywhere near.
He's not there. No, he's not there tonight, and he's not coming.
Right.
You can't. He's not gonna ride down in his Cadillac either. No. Johnny's unavailable.
Okay, so we're gonna move on, and we're gonna get back on track. Cersei and the Iron Bank.
Okay, so Cersei was sitting there like she got mad swag going on. And homeboy from the Iron Bank was like, so what's happening? And she's like, oh, I got your shit. It is, as a matter of fact, on the way. My brother is traveling, and he is escorting it himself. And the Iron Bank dude was like, you're effective and efficient, much like your dad. And she was like, why, yes, I am, So that was one of those moments that was like, okay. I thought it was like another one of those boring scenes, and I have to really, like, get in my mind that there aren't really any boring scenes. Everything is kind of, like, alluding to something else.
Right.
And another thing I found interesting was the Iron Bank man mentioning, we've grown fond of your interest payments. And I was like, if every creditor would say that, like.
It'd be 100 with us.
Wait a minute. We're going to get 100. Yeah. Yeah, because he was like,
we don't want you to pay this thing ever. Ever.
Right. This lump sum is really going to fuck us off, guys.
You pay it down, but don't pay it down.
Don't pay it off. Right.
Don't pay it off.
You see that principal escaping in the horizon? The principal escaping already. He's playing the fucking interest. Get the fuck out of here. That's all
and so, but then after that, it was like, actually, I got some plans going on. You know what I'm saying? I am going to need. I think he was the one who mentioned like, you're going to need some outside investment for these other endeavors. Yeah, and she was like, Kyron was just in touch with the Golden Company. And and she said that she needed to recover things that belonged to her. So that was a statement that I was like, okay, what exactly does that mean? I know the Golden Company is like, essentially like mercenaries, right? And I know that Ser Jorah used to fuck with them also.
Yes.
Good call, ass.
Yes.
That was good.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll be paying attention.
Exactly, sometimes.
When you be talking, I'll be listening. Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I remember that fucking Stannis and Sir Davos, right? Sir Davos used
they would have
left
to deal with the Iron Bank. They would have left to deal with the Iron Bank with Davos.
No, not the Iron Bank. They got into an argument. Well, yes, the Iron Bank, but they got into a thing where Sir Davos was like, so you don't want to hire the Golden Company. You don't want to hire, what do you call them, Salesforce, but you fucking with blood magic. So what sense does that make? Like, you need some more armed bodies. So, but that makes me think, like, what was the problem with them? Like, is there an issue with them? Is there a problem with them?
Well, the Golden Company is big in the book. Like, they have a big plot in the book. But they're, all right, so in the book, the Golden Company are mercenaries, but this is where they're different than the Second Sons. They were like noblemen who lost their house. So they were like disposed, I guess, royalty. And so they gathered up. And they're like 10,000 deep. They're a very big, strong force. So they're not just like, I remember the Second Sons. They were kind of dusty, dirt under their fingernails, always talking about fucking and shit like that without protection. Very bad people. And
we haven't seen them, right? We've only they've only alluded to them.
Right. But I think, there's no lip service in the show anymore, especially at this stage in the game. So if they brought them up, they might pop up. Coming.
Now,
Anne would say, coming down the hill with this one sun ray on him, like Gandalf. Right. That's all right.
Yeah.
So I will always reference that scene when it's like some force from somewhere else on Lord of the Rings, the third one, or the second one. And then the third one, Zilla can't stand, Zilla, my best friend, he can't stand the Ghost Army. The Ghost Army.
The Ghost Army.
You can't do anything with their weapons, but they can block your swords and, just like the type of shit. So the Golden Company has a possibility to come in through the left. Like, all right, so let me root it in the show, sorry. Like the House of the Veil. Remember how they came over the ridge and, saved John and all them in the Battle of Bastards. So they could definitely be a wild card moving forward.
Yeah.
They have elephants, is the thing in the book. Like they have wild mastodon elephants. So.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So yeah, I didn't, kind of like you mentioned, Am, I didn't really see any foreshadowing there, even though, hindsight 2020, she said the money's on the way, it's going to be right there, boom, boom, boom. And she said it was such a confidence, like it was just, so official and a fact. So I guess, that would have been the foreshadowing. I did, in the scene that you were talking about, Am, when Jamie told Bronn, no, you can't have this castle, Daenerys could take it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little bit of foreshadowing, but I dismissed it because I was like, she wouldn't, she's not worried about going there. She's worried about going to, she'll go to, what you call it, Castle Rock?
King's
Landing.
King's Landing.
Castle
I mean, but the whole thing of Bronn taking the castle for himself, he literally will be in there by himself, like Am said, hanging drapes and shit. That's not seizing the castle.
Right.
I don't think they would leave that much of a force. Now, mind you, remember, these are not just Lannister soldiers. They're also the Tarly people.
Right.
Even though he went back to do the harvest. That's why he's not in the fight. He went, to finish the harvest. There's still a continuous harvest going on. And they're trying to convince the farmers, pack it up, let's go. We're taking all this shit. They're probably finding out from them that Ledell and his Dutch is the last one. Let's go. Pack it up. Let's go. So,
how about your man? How about Sam's pop talking about, we could flog the stragglers, if problem from
that's
keeping
a good
up.
Motivational tactic.
Good motivation. I was like, okay.
It was like, I had no idea you were so sadistic, sir.
He threatened to kill his son and forced him to go to the night watch. There's a lot rolling around in that bald head.
Yeah.
This is fair.
But then he named his other son Dickon. So, he's not a caring father.
That was the funniest moment.
He's just not a caring father.
He gave birth to this. Well, the joke is George R. R. Martin, you notice, the characters all have the same names, a lot of them.
Yeah. Rickon,
Dickon. Right. So, pretty much Tarly had his oldest son, Dickon, to grow him up to be a joke for Bronn to laugh at on the field of battle. That was his whole point. And Dickon did all right this episode, too. Dickon did pretty good, right?
Dickon did do pretty good.
So Dickon is my man. I don't know.
I do want to say really quickly that I find it hilarious that Jamie keeps fucking it up. And it's like, Rickon, how you doing?
Yeah.
And he's like, Dickon. Whoever wants to correct someone when their name is Dickon. You don't want to be like, no, it's Dickon.
Whatever.
No, I'd just be like, it's Rickon. You're right. You got me.
But Dickon is my man from another show. He's in Black Sails, which I don't really know why I watch that show, but I do. It's on Showtime, I think.
Pirate joint, right?
Yeah, exactly. His name is Billy on there. So all I kept saying was Billy, Billy, and then I was like, oh, Dickon, got it.
Dickon.
Crazy. But he's been on there a couple episodes and didn't really have a very big speaking role until this episode. So that was interesting too. Because I was like, Billy, you need to tell them that you are somebody and you need to be speaking. And he finally looked at his phone and was like, my name is Dickon.
That is my name and the name of my father.
You sounded like his mom dressing him for school in the morning. When you get in there, you tell them you are on Black Sails. You do not let them talk to you like this.
You are not no Joker, no Bron. He doesn't have a house, okay? He doesn't have a house.
Big character on there. Tell them you are somebody, baby. And if they have a problem, you send them to me.
Ooh.
Exactly.
All right.
Nothing like the black mama.
Nothing like the black mama.
Or the Jewish
so
mama.
It's horrible.
Yes, or a Jewish mama.
Well, is there anything else in that scene? I don't want us to rush.
No, I'm good. I think we can move on to Morgs.
Yeah.
So Brian Littlefinger in Bran's chambers, right? That was his room. And Littlefinger decides, well, here's what I think Littlefinger was doing. I think Littlefinger was like, oh, shit, a dude's back. So that's a Lord of Winterfell. I need to get on the Lord's side. Whoever is going to be the highest in power, that's who I need to be friends with. So he's like, hey, look what I got, this dagger that was meant to kill you.
Yo, I hate his slimy, sleazy, scaly ass. I
got this kitty claw that you could use if you want to.
This kitty claw.
Like, and Bran's literally like, bruh, what the fuck am I going to do with this? I don't need your dagger in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Yo, I'm sorry. Was that a freestyle kitty claw? Like, did you just come up with that in that moment?
I feel like she might have.
I really want to take...
They got kids. They got all types of weird names for the toys. The kids have
This is so brilliant.
That is like asking for like the Hulk fist. Oh, take this kitty claw. Here you go. Whatever. My mom gave me many a facsimile of what I really wanted. Okay. Jesus Christ.
But then also.
The funny thing is that really is the story of my childhood right there. Can I have this? Sure, you can have that.
But I didn't ask for this. But
this wasn't what I asked. But that's what you get, and aren't you thankful? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I am.
What was funny about that whole situation was like he presented it like this was the night that was meant to kill you. Like, bruh, why is that? Why
am I supposed to be excited?
With the sentimentality that you see that I'm not getting right now. Like, what's
right. Where is it?
I already don't have any emotions, and now you're giving me the plot device in my lap. Come on.
Right. It's
but
like,
no, I do want to say,
point to me on the map where this matters in my life.
We still don't know, though, why, who ordered that assassination, right? That was still all the theory. Like, we thought it was Joffrey. You know, we still haven't gotten any confirmation.
No, we assumed it was the Lannisters. Like, definitely.
Yeah. Joffrey wasn't in charge then, right?
No, yeah, exactly. Because
this was first season. This was
right.
Second episode.
Cersei or Jaime.
Because
Joffrey was still in pre-asshole mode, you know, even how
Yeah, but he didn't have beef. He didn't have beef with him yet. There was no reason for him to have beef with him yet. None of that happened.
But nobody knew that. Nobody knew that. Bran. Yeah, nobody knew that Bran saw them when they got.
Except for Cersei and Jaime.
Exactly.
Right. So that's not. So it's not that. Like that's. I think that's going to be a thread that's not going to be knotted. I think that's something they just floating out there because. There's really nothing that connects it, even in George.
No, that's the connection. You just skimmed over the
You
connection.
just said it. Can I just have a moment?
Mm-hmm.
So Jaime pushed Bran out the window in order to kill him, in hopes to kill him. He cripples him. He's then in his bed. His mother's next to his bed. Then someone comes in to try and sets a fire to Winterfell, hoping everyone gets out except for him, and tries to kill him. That, to me, is still a Lannister move. They didn't accomplish the kill in the first place.
Right.
But,
so Jaime and Cersei, to me, are still behind that. And then what made it even, to me, makes it even more, backs that up even more, is that then Littlefinger did shady shit with the dagger. Like, that's what got Tyrion in trouble in the first place. Like,
right. What are you saying? But here's the twist. Though, Morris. The assassin said, "You weren't supposed to be here," and that to me was more specific than everybody was supposed to go chase this fire. When he said you weren't supposed to be there, he said that to Caitlyn. But that means somebody. That means somebody said to him, "Caitlyn shouldn't be there." Not a Stark shouldn't be in the room with him. He didn't say no one's supposed to be here. He said you. So to me, that brings Littlefinger back into the mix.
Yes,
but who talks about Catelyn? Who talks about Catelyn but Littlefinger? That's what I'm saying.
I absolutely agree that Littlefinger has a hand. Absolutely, but that doesn't mean it wasn't Cersei's order from the jump.
Yeah, it definitely was.
You know what I mean?
I think Littlefinger.
I'm not convinced, y'all. I still think that's a wild card that they either answer in one of those aha moments and it'll tie a thread, or they leave it out there.
Well, I think that this dagger coming back means way more. So I don't think this necessarily. I don't think this necessarily.
The Sam book. The book.
You're cutting across there.
No, but I wanted to remember more.
It's okay. It's okay to cutting across there.
I'm trying to jog her memory.
This is why this needs to be a video chat. This is why this needs to be a video chat, because if you would have seen the dead face I had both times you cut me off, and then I would like to put the thought bubble up just in that video of your actual words on how we're supposed to do this.
Alphabetical order. It would have been
alphabetical order. And I have yet to finish.
The unflawless.
Yeah. But remember,
skipping the alphabetical all the time since we started. Sorry.
This is no different than him talking himself into the leaks being a preview. So you got to understand.
Fair enough. No, you're absolutely right. He did just completely justify. He did just completely justify why cutting me off was okay, because I need to remember what I'm thinking about.
Not to cut you off, but
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm
gonna let you finish, but I have something way more important to say. It was in the book.
My point is important to you. Sorry.
I don't do that. Do I do that?
Okay, can I just get it out really quick? I think that this dagger coming back kind of points to maybe it isn't necessarily a loose thread. It may get tied up, because watching Bran take the dagger, there was something there, and then I don't want to get too far ahead, but when he gave it to Arya, there was definitely something. So we'll come back to that. But that dagger means a lot. And not only is it made of Valyrian steel, the handle is dragon bone. Like, that thing might be the Night King killer. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot with that dagger.
Well, they've already killed they've already killed White Walker with Valyrian steel, right?
They've killed White Walker.
John killed one with Valyrian steel. Nice. And Sam killed one with the dragon glass.
Indeed,
Sam
we
killed
know
one of
for
the lieutenant ones. He didn't have a shirt on or something, like he stabbed him in the shoulder.
Yes, yeah. Right. We do know that for sure the White Walkers and the Whites or walking ice zombies, whatever they're called today.
Yeah, the Whites.
They can be killed by both of those things: dragon glass. And
Valyrian steel.
Valyrian steel.
Wait,
also, fire does matter to the Whites.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But wait, weren't they just fighting the Whites off just regularly? Like, I didn't feel like it was always Valyrian based or dragonglass based fighting the Whites, the dead. Like, remember some of them were coming back as bones. Yeah, when they fought them at the cave.
So I just watched Hard Home again today. The situation with the Whites, they were using arrows, they were using swords. You have to like break them down so they'll drag their pieces, to keep trying to attack you. So the ice,
especially at the cave.
Right. So the giant, like, he stepped on one, and that was it because he crushed it. There was nothing else to go off of. But like Morgan was saying, it's been proven. Valyrian steel, like when Jon was fighting that one, the one White Walker, he shattered his body. like on contact with it. So this isn't like a limb's gonna come off. No, they're completely allergic to that shit. Completely.
All I'm trying to get at is that the Night's King is not the same as the rest of these folks, and
No.
And it is very possible that there needs to be an extra element to get rid of him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all I'm getting at. And I'm not saying that that's it. I just think that dagger has a whole lot more play because we haven't seen it, heard of it, talked about it since the first season until Sam saw it in the book at the Citadel.
So I do agree with you that there's more to it, right? But I also agree that, like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, first of all, Littlefinger is not at home, right? So, like, did he, like, send for this? Did he, like, just have it packed with him? Like, what the fuck is this about?
Well, and the fact that if he has had it this whole time, then somehow he is the greatest hider of things because he put it off on Tyrion. So Tyrion was ousted. He used it. He held that same dagger up against Ned's neck. Like, Littlefinger's been having his hands on this dagger for a minute.
Yeah.
Because wait, did Catelyn give it back to him when she confronted him with it, and he led her to Tyrion?
I don't remember.
That's where we're muddy. That's where even Af is asking.
Yeah.
So if he got it back at that point, has he been holding it this whole time? And if he has he kept it on his person?
Like, where the heck has it been, though?
Is it at the veil, under his
Because
pillow,
after that, exactly, you went to the veil, all of the things. And he's been all over the place.
He had his whorehouse.
So, right.
I want you to talk about Chaos as a Ladder.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I was going to ask you.
Okay, so this is where, I don't know where to start with this, but the moment that Littlefinger clearly thinks he's finessing Bran, right? And he's like, I got this dagger for you. You know, this is a special present, so I'm your special friend now, right? And he's like, yeah, not really.
About his mother. He's disgusting. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Castro, because that I may have honestly blocked that out on purpose because it's so gross. But yeah, so he's like, I loved your mother, and da-da-da-da-da. You're just going to keep going. He talks about his mom. He talks about his mom.
I'm trying.
Are you?
Well, I was like more so 20 minutes ago, but now it's like it's off the rails.
Oh my God!
This is going to be such a hard listen. I apologize to the listeners already. So
leave it in the comments. I'm done. All right, I'm done.
So yeah, he mentions, you know, how he wishes he could have been there to take the dagger, you know, for Catelyn and what this and that. And Bran's like, cool story, bro. Chaos is a ladder. And that was a callback to Littlefinger and Varys' conversation where I'm uncertain, but I believe it was season 3. And Varys is like, this shit's too chaotic, man. This is too much. And chaos is a pit. And Littlefinger says, oh, no. Chaos is a ladder. That's when we make our ascent. That's when we, little people that no one's paying attention to, are the ones that make the run for the money. And that moment, I've never seen Littlefinger so shook, number one. Number two, for what that did for me was, with Bran, I'm, you know, starting to understand how stoic he is because it's all things at all times, right? But more than that, it's not the full picture and not the full story. So he's got bits and pieces of absolutely everything and hasn't figured out how to put all those pieces together yet. And that's what he means by I still need more. You know, I still have to get better at this. Like, I don't have it all yet. So he pulls that, shatters Littlefinger, and he doesn't, you know, all the way necessarily know for sure what that means, except for you ain't shit. And I keep waiting for someone to be like, or for Bran to be like, you betrayed my father. You know, like Sansa, kill him. He betrayed Dad. So, you know what I mean? But he doesn't have, maybe he doesn't have all of the pieces of the puzzle yet. So it's just like he's piecing together that Littlefinger is a full piece of shit And that little call out was huge to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it also, for me, reminds me of, like, sort of like that gossip kind of feeling when somebody mentions part of a conversation and you're like, fuck, how much do they know of the whole conversation that was happening?
Yes. Yes.
And so I think that's part of why he was, like, so shook, because he's like, if you know that, like, what else do you know about that conversation? And what else do you know about everything else in general?
And what else do you know about me? Exactly.
Yeah.
What else do you know about me? Because I be making moves around here.
That's a good point.
It's the same. It's the same look of surprise there. Remember when the new Maester said Master Lewin kept a copy of all transmissions? Like, remember he said that, and then if you go back and even watch that, Littlefinger looks at him like, how many?
What you mean,
Littlefinger. Littlefinger and Lysa sent that note to them. So remember, they threw that note into the fire. But if what Lewin did was true, he wrote down a copy of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you get to looking through those, you'll start seeing little bits and pieces of his chicanery and shit like that. I think the walls are closing in on him pretty quickly. Like, again, we don't have time.
We don't have time.
We'll turn around, and next thing you know, he'll be in a room being accused like Melisandre. That happens fast.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, that was ill, because I've never seen Littlefinger that shook since.
Not that shook. Like, he's given us a little tremble before, but he was a shook one. Fully.
Yeah, that was delicious. It was delicious.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
But I still think it's just a temporary shookness. He's still going to go back to finessing and, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's going to. I think he's definitely going to try, but I think that we don't have that much time, and I think that the more Bran sees, and now that he's home with his people, even if he's, you know, no longer Bran and he's not a rating, that information is important to them, and I don't think he's just going to keep it to himself. You know what I mean? Like, I think I think the walls are closing in on Baelish. It's gonna happen sooner than later.
Yeah.
So that brings us to Mira coming in while they were talking. Poor baby.
It was so bad. Oh.
Littlefinger leaves all scared, and Mira comes in all
like,
sad.
Thank goodness. Hey, girl.
Yeah, he's exactly. He's like, thank you.
Hey, girl,
I needed the reprieve. Yes, I'll leave y'all to it. Yes. And Mira's like, hey, I'm going to go now. And he was like, thanks. Cool.
He was good looking out.
Her heartbreak in him just saying thank you.
Man.
So,
you know how many people died for you?
Yes, I thought that was a real big part.
You know how many people died and how I almost died and how this is you now? Like, do you remember it? And I thought it was so important for us in that moment to realize that he did die in that cave. You know, like that's not, this isn't Bran. He doesn't have any of that anymore because he can't. He has to be something different.
He keeps
like, telling us,
yo, I'm not a Lord. I'm not even really Bran. Like, I don't know that name really, but
I think he even said, I kind of remember being him, but not really.
Yeah.
And like, there's so much happening. It's literally, I don't identify as that person anymore. I cannot even begin to explain how annoying it is that you guys keep calling me him. I'm not him.
Right. And then the very next scene, somebody's like, Bran, remember when? Like,
right. Don't call me that. No, but here's the other thing. Even though he's go ahead, Mark.
Oh no, I'll wait.
So Bran, even though he's a mutant, you know, these kids look mad different. Like, I keep thinking of Rickon if he was still alive from how he looked from season 1. You know, when they were lined up height wise. Always think back to that scene when they were greeting the king when he came into town that first time.
Right.
And he looks so different. I mean, the affect is helpful too, but he looks so different. He literally, like you're saying, Mort, is not Bran. Like what Mira
Right.
said, it's not just a throwaway line. You died in the cave. When the three-eyed raven gave you all of that, and, you know, people ask me, when did that happen? I say, when the Night King slashed him. That wasn't the Night King like, destroying him. That was him giving everything to Bran, and Bran still trying to put together all these pieces because it was rushed. Remember, the Night King's been, Three-Eyed Raven been in that tree, 100 years or whatever like that?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Bran had to learn this stuff in 8 months, you know what I mean? So there's going to be, I don't want to bring that scene up because I hate it, but it's similar to when Neo said, I need time, and he walked off, and he just sat somewhere in one of the hovercrafts and then came back. I know what to do. You know, it won't be that, like, badly written, but it'll be just like that. Like, he still has to figure some things out because, like, he's still not giving up any juice, y'all. He hasn't told about Jon Snow or anything like that. Like, he's still holding a lot of juice. So I think the next episode he's going to, you know, ward and see where the Night King and all of them are. So we'll get more juice.
Okay, so we move on, Afro.
I'm sorry, before we move on, I just want to shout out his early prototype wheelchair, which was lit.
Fam.
Mira was like, what's that?
Professor X in the house. Professor X in the house. I know it. That's what I thought.
Fam.
Yeah.
I seen that joint. I was like, but they ain't give him like a whole wheelchair. Like, stop it. Man, this is crazy.
We don't have time for anything. The mates to cook that up. When did they make that? Like, didn't he just get there? Mates to cook that up.
He just got there.
So, we don't have time for all of this other stuff. Talking by while he's making it, talking about the wood, talking about Targaryen. No, we don't have time for none of that shit no more. Wheelchair. There it is.
So true.
I was wondering if it was going to be who's going to be carrying him around. Like, I was wondering, ain't no Hodor no more. So
I think that particular scene needs to resonate with everyone to remember this is Bran going forward. This is not, he's not coming back and he's not going to be a loving little brother. Like, that's not what's going to happen. He's not going to become, he's like a what?
It's like a stamp in time. Like, this is.
Yes, exactly. He's not a lord. He's not going to be any of the things that they thought he would be. This is it. And so for us viewers, we have to stop looking for him to have emotional connections and maybe necessarily spill all the tea on all of that stuff. Like, I don't know the rules on that. Does he just get to share that info? Does he have to keep it to himself? I don't know what the rules are. Like, it may be that he definitely for sure knows all of this stuff, and it isn't bits and pieces, and he's like, gotta hold it to my best, guys. Sorry, you're going to see how it turns out.
You know, when he gave Arya that dagger, that was a moment of, I know what you're going to do with this. I already see it.
We're not there yet.
But we're not there yet, so we're going to skip over that completely.
Sorry.
And we are now going to move on to Afro and Arya surveying Winterfell.
So first of all, Arya pulls up, and she's just like looking over Winterfell, like before she even goes down there. You can see like in her face, she's like, "Yo, I'm home. Like, I don't even believe this myself."
Yeah.
And then she walks up to the gate. And,
hilarious. That was hilarious. That was so funny. I just want
to point out, like, the confidence that you see in her and the growth that you see in her, because she didn't really react to them. You know, they're like snort laughing, like, yeah, like, right,
totally.
And she's like, nah, for real, I am. And, you know, there's going to be a problem if you don't tell my sister and brother. So, and they're like, nah, for real, get the fuck out of here. And then homeboy, like, swings on her, and she makes a quick, swift move, and then she's like, nah, for real, though, you got to let my peeps know I'm here.
Stop playing.
Yeah, stop playing. Stop playing. But she didn't attack him back. She didn't, like, and I felt like that was, like, the beginning inkling of, like, seeing how much she's, like, developed and, like, matured, and just her confidence level as, like, a fighter, as, like, a person, you know, just on every level. She was just, like, so chill. So then they, like, sit her down, and they're like, All right, and then they start arguing over who's gonna go tell Sansa. That was so fucking stupid.
like telling the girl at the door that A, she can't come in. Okay, fine, but you sit right there. You think in any way she's gonna just be sitting there when you turn around? I couldn't believe that they did that.
Right. But while she was sitting there, that was when she was really, like, looking over Winterfell. And you could see that it was like, she was, like, looking at the upper deck, like, I used to play up there, and I used to fucking argue with my brother and shoot bow and arrows right here. And, you could just see her, like, reminiscing over all of that shit. Mm-hmm. And then her last...
And seeing how much it's changed. Yeah.
And how, exactly.
Yeah.
And then her
Did y'all get a Laurel and Hardy vibe from the guards? Like the skinny one, the fat one?
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely. I just completely missed what you said. I didn't understand what you said.
Did y'all get a Laurel and Hardy vibe?
Like that comic trope of a duo, one skinny, one fat.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were kind of going for with the guards. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't gonna laugh at my interjection then?
She asked for, she put up.
Listen, I think your joke landed the first time, but we didn't hear it. So then it was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Sorry. It landed with Ambush. He laughed.
Is it?
Even in the damn comment. I'm out of here. Finding me another goddamn podcast.
Put your joke in the comments.
I'll just listen to the playback so I can get that joke later.
There we go. See? There we go. There it is, Castro.
Teamwork makes the dream.
I literally didn't hear it, so...
Me either. That's why I'm saying. Like, you can't be mad.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, Sansa's like, word, this must really be my sister because she dropped all these names that only my sister would know, and she's got to be downstairs.
I know exactly where she is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they run down there, and they're in the crypt.
Yeah, they're in the crib. Like, Arya's first words is like, do I have to call you Lady Stark now?
Priority.
I still want the top bunk, bitch. Yeah, that's
right.
It
was so reminiscent of their relationship as sisters. Like, come on, bitch. Like, you really want me to call you First Lady now? Like, I'm not supposed to do that because I'm not.
Right, and Sansa was like, yeah.
Yeah. I know, and that part I didn't expect her to say. I thought she was going to be like, no, girl, we sisters, like, whatever, I miss you. It was like, yes, at all times, because me and John argue enough in front of everybody else, and so we need...
Right.
I need a unified stuff from you.
Exactly.
Somebody got to be on my side.
Somebody's going to be unified with me.
As soon as John gets back, her and him are going to go at it. You took the name, blah, 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 like, immediately. It's going to be great.
And then they did this funky-ass hug, which I felt was really genuine on Sansa's side, but on Arya's side, it just seemed very, like, it was very, like, Bran-ish. Like, I'm just here, you know?
Right.
And then she called her out, like, I didn't run. Like, you need better guards, girl, because, like...
That was so good.
Yes, because I definitely didn't run from them guards.
Mm-hmm.
I did not run.
Casually strolled away.
They didn't even notice.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't come close to noticing until I was all the way gone.
Right.
I did think that it was super cute. There were two moments to me where they both talked about how Ned's
statue.
That the statue doesn't look like him, and that was a moment for Arya for being as disconnected as she's been. You know, not just from with distance, but you know, becoming that assassin and supposedly being a no one. It is going to be tougher for her to have, you know, major emotions, but that was a moment like we're still alive.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that was nice.
What
about the second hug?
The second hug was amazing.
Wait, before the second hug, I want to say that they had this whole moment about Joffrey, which was fucking hilarious. Like, did you kill Joffrey? No, I didn't. Damn it, I didn't either. I was so mad. I wanted to.
It was I wish I killed him.
And that was the revealing of the list, too.
Yep.
Of like, yeah, he's one of the people on my list. And then there's this pregnant pause, and then Sansa starts laughing, and then Arya's like, I'm just going to laugh with you just like I laugh with everybody else when I tell them I got people I'm killing.
Exactly.
Like,
but I'm so serious
and all
that made me...
All that made me think was, y'all gonna stop playing with Arya because somebody is gonna stop playing with her. Those dudes laughed in her face when she said, "I'm going to kill the queen." My sister doesn't believe I have a list of people I'm killing. Y'all gonna quit playing with me because I'm out here.
The first thing came to my mind was when that word of what happened at the phrase gets back, they're gonna start believing her.
Yeah. And how hasn't it yet?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, who's there to send ravens? Everyone's dead.
Good point.
The whole order, there's total chaos.
Like
right
nobody needs food. Nobody goes to drop a shipment.
She left them women there shivering. So they probably
all the daughters.
Same like Crassus. Daughters are still there at Crassus. Nobody's moved. There's a lot of shell shock and PTSD going on. So nobody went away. It's like when the unfortunately you say it's like New Orleans when they say, yo, you got to evacuate. No, we'll be all right. We're going to stay right here.
Right. No,
and so, it's possible.
So the other thing that happened I seen outside of the hug, because the hug was last, but she was like, Sansa was like, John lost his shit when he saw me, but his heart's going to stop when he sees you. And I was like,
yeah.
You mean his heart's going to stop again? Because that nigga was for real dead. And we don't know
that the whole time.
So not
but the smile on Arya's face was such a genuine, emotional smile.
Yeah.
That was going to be my second cute thing. That's exactly that's what I remember her. That's her face when she's with John. So
they had a special friendship. Or, they were they had a cool relationship.
Their connection was stronger than anybody else's.
Yeah. That happens when you have like 5, 6 siblings in different ages. They pair off. Like John had a certain relationship with Rob, but John was really, close to Arya and Sansa had their relationship, and Rickon was running around with Shaggy Dog. So
And I think they felt like the outcasts of the gender.
Definitely.
Siblings. Like John definitely felt like he didn't belong, and Arya, when it comes to Sansa, she definitely felt like she wasn't that.
Just being the kind of girl we're supposed to be then, and in that family, it never fit for her.
Right.
And then, the second hug was real. The second hug was like, okay, cool. You really are happy to see your sister. Good, I'm happy to see that.
Yeah. That was a great feeling. That moment when the way they ended, and she was like, oh, right, Bran's here too.
Yep, and Bran's home.
And those looks between each other said so much, like Arya was hype, and then it was like, wait, but you're not hype. Why aren't you hype? What's the matter with Bran? Why aren't you hype? What's the matter? like what?
That Arya was kind of like, well, the last I saw my brother, he couldn't walk for himself. I can't imagine what it's been like for him. And I think that's kind of like the thing, part of it when they see each other of like, because Sansa said that too, how'd you get back here? And like, it's a long story. Like, I guess we all have long stories, honestly. And so if you think of Bran's story of like, wow, if we all had a long story, you must have a really fucking long story, So I think that might have been like a little inkling of it too, just like,
true.
What?
I definitely didn't think of it that way, but that makes all the sense. So then we go to straight to Arya seeing Bran with Sansa. Castro, take it away.
Just seeing the three of them together, 3 Starks, something that, we're avid followers of the show. it didn't look really good for the Starks. Like straight and true after season 1. And so to see the 3 of them back together, even though Bran is like a robot, it was really heartwarming. They're all wearing their wolf pelts. There's a million wolf pelts to go around, for the Starks. And I was misty-eyed. I was very misty-eyed. Just, where I guess it was Arya was pushing Bran and Sansa's walking behind them. And, this, and it's funny. It's actually ironic. There's still a height thing because Bran's in the chair. So like they're still like shorter than one another, some pyramid type shit.
Oh, and, yeah.
And then, the scenes with them back by the weirwood tree and stuff. Yes, I know you liked it too. Sorry, y'all. That was Ella. No, I thought it was really just a nice touching scene. And we need wins for the Starks. Even if it's just, that I also remember I wrote a note. I was like, God damn, I wish Jon was there. Like, the moment the 4 of them are there, surviving Starks, you notice they'll never mention Rickon's name ever again. He's a young kid. They're not going to mention, Rickon too. They're not going to say that. But the moment that all 4 of them are together again, it might be in duress. You know what I'm saying? But I think that'll be a warm moment. I hope they all live to see it. Cause it
so
was,
I want to chime in.
Yes.
I really thought that when Arya was walking up to Bran, I really thought he was going to be like, "Hey, Arya," like before he even saw who she was. I was like, kind of.
Or some like as he's psychic, like she was walking up to him.
Mm-hmm.
But also,
I'm glad that they didn't do that because that's not the kind of like psychic or visions that he has. Like it's not like
right.
And so it would have played into that for me.
He's not saying like somebody's about to knock on the door.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Come in.
He's not Miss Cleo. Yeah.
Right. And then somebody knocks on the door. But he's not doing tricks down in the courtyard.
Can you speak up a little bit, Castro?
Yeah. Sorry, I had to go to phone for a second. My headphones started to die on me. But I think.
Right. Fantastic.
So I'd like to chime in as well, real quick. The dynamic we've gone over that, but when Bran said, "Yeah, I thought you were going to go to Winterfell," I mean King's Landing.
King's Landing.
And she was like, "Yeah, I did too." Like. That to me was another piece of the like he doesn't necessarily see it all, and he's getting these bits and pieces, and doesn't have the full picture yet.
But then he
might have
mentioned
seen
the
her
list.
go earlier, later.
Yes, and then he mentioned the list, which was fantastic because Sansa all of a sudden was like, "Now wait a motherfucking minute,
right?
There's a list.
Right.
Now there's a list."
The real list.
So she was making that shit up. That's wild. Like Sansa just was like, "Huh?"
And she even and Sansa like she was hearing it, but she was still kind of like laughing it off, not taking it too serious. Like, well, all right, well, who else is on this list? It's like I've mostly killed everybody on the list. So
mostly everyone's dead, so I don't even need to mention them.
What about the fact that by Bran wondering, I thought you would go to King's Landing. Maybe he's seen her at King's Landing in the future a bit. And so when he ran into her, he thought, that could have been more into the present because he's still having a difficult time reading and figuring out when things are happening. So he probably did see her at King's Landing, but probably in the future.
But I don't know, that felt so much like that crossroads moment where she was like, I'm not, okay, do I stay on course or do I get back to the fans?
Right.
That
but
really
then why would he
like
make a mistake
specifically about that?
And he didn't know which way she was going to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm thinking
but I don't think that's necessarily a mistake. I think that maybe it's that he gets flashes. Like, if we think about what he was seeing with, come again?
He said it's splintered. It's splintered. It's in fragments. So it's not
right. So
as
it's
cohesive
just
as what you think it
flashes,
is.
and so he doesn't have that full picture yet. And now she's here, so it's like, oh, full picture. You didn't go there. You came here. And maybe he will get all of that at another time where he sees her whole journey. But in this meantime, while he's still learning, I think that was directly to that. Just her at that crossroads before she turns and goes the other way.
Also, before I got to get to the dagger part. But before I get there, I had in my notes, I had hashtag pod back. Podrick, big pod.
Podrick's back. Podrick's back.
Earlier in my notes, I had Braun back, hashtag Braun back. But now I looked down a couple more bullets, and now we're at hashtag pod back. But again,
I like that you're writing out actual hashtags.
Oh, I am. I keep it digital. So what I alluded to earlier in the podcast when I said that when Bran gave Arya the dagger, it seemed like he gave it to her with purpose. Like, he played it off to them, what does a cripple need a dagger for? But that's going to be instrumental, like y'all are saying, like you said, Morgan, about maybe this is the weapon for the Night King specifically, but there was something instrumental in him giving her the dagger. Now, my question is, I don't understand why. Yeah, I don't understand why. I get that Bran is getting it in fragments, but I still feel like he's holding something back. Like, I'm not saying he had to come there screaming, Jon's a Targaryen, but I still feel like he's telling people what he wants them to know. And that's really the maybe time paradox thing. Like, he has to tell people just that much for them to do what they're supposed to do to get to
it's a combination. I think it's a combination of the two, because when we might have been last episode where he said he needed to speak to Jon. That's telling Jon he's a Targaryen. That needs to happen. That's a conversation between him and Jon. That's not a conversation between him and Sansa or anybody else.
Okay,
we're not going to get that until they're in front of each other. So he has to give that to Jon. But I definitely feel like because he's still getting everything just in shards and splinters, he's still trying to navigate who to tell, how to tell them. Because remember, he watched what happened to Hodor play out. So he's got to be very selective about what information he's got to, because that was insane. That was traumatic, So I just don't think he has he's a 3-eyed raven, but he's like a baby raven. Like he doesn't have full capability. He really doesn't. So. And we
can't expect that from him yet.
Right. We got to stop.
We're just anxious. We're just anxious for it. We just want him to be floating like Doctor Strange and just you do this and you do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
no,
he's definitely not there
do.
yet.
We're looking because he's such a big part of saving the realm, right? So it's like, come save the realm. You're here. You made it. Do it now.
Right.
But
I think that's some really good. But that's some really good writing, and we know we're in Game of Thrones, where even the most mystical and powerful, like he's essentially almost the most powerful one. He's the only equal they have to the Night King, above Jon, above Dany, and everything. Right. But he's still figuring it out, and it wouldn't be Game of Thrones if he had just got it. Like, that's what George R. Martin's gift is. Like, we're gonna make this realistic. None of this shit gonna be easy. So you know what I'm saying. So and then I appreciate that. We appreciate the destination for the journey. So
I want to say two things. I think for, like Morgan was saying earlier, which touches on the point that you were just making, Castro, is that there's no rules to this shit. And so it's kind of like, how is he supposed to engage, and like what's he supposed to tell and what's he not? And so I think y'all are like both touched on the same point. The second thing, I agree with you, Castro. I think that Bran really downplayed it, like what's a cripple going to do with, this knife or whatever, or this dagger. But the reality is, I think this is really more about Arya and introducing this weapon into her life. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's maybe going to be more about, like, Arya with this Valyrian dagger, Jon coming back with this Dragonstone. He already has a Valyrian sword himself. And so I think it maybe is going to play into that in another realm, too.
I absolutely agree with you, because she's now complete. She has a complete arsenal now. She has needle, she has this the dagger, and she
got the skills.
Has hands. She's literally like, come at me, bro. Come at me.
Dead ass. So, and she don't waste her time on any of these petty little battles, like when she was at the gate. Like, I'm not gonna fight him. Right. Like, he just came at me, but like, nah, I'm good.
But like you ain't worth it, bro. Like, I could literally slice your throat with my fingernail right now. You don't know what I can do. Yeah,
right.
and if I'm not supposed to be here, I guess I'll be in trouble, right? Like I guess I'll be out real quick if I'm not supposed to be here. Yeah, she's on a whole different plane. So I don't remember necessarily the order of when we get her and Brienne, but it may be smart just to throw it in right here.
Yeah,
I remember the order. So now that you mention that, there's a couple other things too, right?
What'd we miss? And by we, I mean me. My apologies.
No, it's we. It's we. So Arya and Brienne. There's also John and Sir Davos when they're talking to Missandei or Missandei later.
Somebody has that. That's
somebody has that one? Okay.
And
John and Theon when they first see each other.
Right, we just skipped that. Yeah,
I did skip that. Yeah, that was
me.
Woo.
We can keep going through the order because that comes later.
After the Missandei. Yeah, after.
Right.
Take that after Anne finishes the Missandei one. You can take that because that was good.
So we can go to Dragonstone and Missandei and the gossip now.
Okay, so
yes.
That was awesome. I was like, look at them. She about to give her some tea. This is amazing. They are bonding. This is hilarious. It was so good. That little girlfriend moment between them. I need more of that.
It was so cute.
More of that. She was like, some things. What you mean some things? Hold up. Some things.
You better tell me about them things real quick.
Morgan, was it not the girl?
Yes. Like no
I like
question.
that the two of them are like that. I do like that the two of them have come that far. And they're like,
it was
like
no
sisters.
question.
She was like, he better come back. I was like, oh, all right. Well, apparently Grey Worm put it down. Okay. All right. Now we know. My guy put it down.
Work.
All right.
The trimming work. Harking back to the first episode of our podcast. If anybody never heard it, the Missing Podcast.
The Missing Podcast. Yeah. So the trimming work.
That is going to be the name of this episode. Trimming.
The trimming work. The trimming work.
Girl. So I was almost kind of salty at John for interrupting them. It was like, oh my God, okay, fine. You want to show us Dragon Glass, but they was about to get into something, and all right, whatever. So we get into the cave, and I did start recognizing some of the symbols. Definitely the spiral.
Spirals.
Definitely remember that spiral from when they chopped up everybody in those horses and put it in the spiral formation. There were a couple other symbols from some of the earlier episodes too. And when they did that reveal and showed the Night King and his three generals on the wall, I was like, okay, Danny, I don't know what else you need. This is amazing. Like, this is crazy. It was so dope.
Yeah, blue eyes and everything.
Everything. Yeah, Children of the Forest had all the watercolors to work with. It was getting it cracking. Like,
making that paint from berries, like in prison. In prison,
they were making it happen. It was amazing. But yeah, I loved it. I loved that scene. It was great.
So
do I have to bring up the awkward? All right, now I'm not for this at all. I don't want them to be in tight spaces and looking so knowingly in each other's eyes. She's his aunt. I will say that until we finish this series. She is his aunt.
You can say it all you want. You can say it all you want, but something's going to pop off.
No pop off. No to the
I don't want it to. Listen, I don't want it to. I don't want it to, but it's going there.
You think it's perfect?
I mean, in that weird sci-fi kind of way, because it still gives her the power of authority when they're together to be like, nigga, I'm your aunt. You gonna fucking listen to me.
Their kid is gonna be his own uncle and his grandfather of his brother.
That was pretty sick, huh? I'm sorry, guys.
That was actually really gross, and amazing at the same time. Also, Castro, I absolutely agree with you that how gross it is. We are watching a show that is based on a book that is filled with incest. All of the Targaryens fuck each other, so it wouldn't be out of line. More than anything, it would continue continuity for them to get together.
I mean, I think the reality is like this is like another world somewhere, and it's also another world here. Like, this happens, okay? Like, it's not a part of our American culture.
Every day.
But this shit fucking happens as part of other cultures, and it's, like, frowned upon here. But, you know, people do that shit elsewhere.
It certainly does happen in America. Like,
it does.
You know, like, there are plenty of people that are married to or have sex with and have children with and all of that. Like, that is a thing. It's not the norm, but it is a thing. So I'm with you, Castro. It's gross, for real. But all of that, like, we're watching it. I saw
you looking at her heart. Davos is
Davos
he's a card. So wait, I got to know, y'all, and I don't know when it's the passing. Davos likes him some dark meat, okay? Because he was like liberating when she said there's no marriage there and Nas and all that. Like he's been
right.
Masande of Nas. He's like Jerome rolling up on pants. Masande of Nas. You know,
oh, Lord.
I do want to say there was a joke on Twitter about fucking John and Danny being in the cave and the fucking wilding girl being somewhere in the dead. Like, nigga, you only be in caves with me. Okay?
Right. John gets busy in caves. Yes, he definitely
yes. So we didn't move on. We didn't move past John and Danny talking at the end of the cave, right? Did we already skip that?
No,
that's
come out the cave.
On the beach. On the beach.
It is me, and I just wanted to make sure I didn't ruin something.
Okay, cool.
So Am, you finished with Children of the Forest and Dragon Glass everywhere and all of that?
Yeah, because
everywhere.
I kind of Dragon Glass everywhere. That's
how I read it when Morgan typed it. That's how I read it. Dragon Glass everywhere.
That is so perfect.
I did read somebody being like, you know, what the fuck does John know about Dragon Glass? I mean, not Dragon Glass, Children of
the Forest.
Of the Forest. And I guess at some point a couple seasons ago, he brushed that off to somebody like, nobody remembers the Children of the Forest, the giants are gone, the dragons are dead, like none of that shit's here anymore. And so I don't know, I just kind of want to see what y'all thoughts were, because it was very like, it was kind of woke, you know what I mean? Like,
it was very woke.
Well, remember,
it was
woke
for John. Even aside from seeing the White Walkers, right? Everything else that he was showing her, I was like, this isn't John Steves. This is interesting. But I do believe John has seen all of that shit. John has seen dragons. John has seen giants.
Right.
And John knows Sam. So he's, kind of versed in some ways. But, like, what were y'all thoughts?
I think the writing, the writing and the jokes. The writing and the jokes kind of played
oh my God.
The writing and the jokes. What happened? The writing and the jokes kind of played a trick on us. The you know nothing Jon Snow when he knows everything. He really does know everything. And I was like Castro. I was about to mention Nan too. No, I was about to mention Nan too. Like Nan was telling all these kids all these stories.
Right. When they were growing up.
It was So I mean, even if it was just something they were told, and took it as just things to keep the kids scared, and like
no big
little
deal.
tales, but he's seeing everything play out. He's like the one character who has seen both the dragons and the fucking Night King. He's seen it all. He really has.
And giants and the wall.
And
he's seen all of those creatures. Yeah.
Right. So he's seen it all play out. So it did make sense. But
I think that people, because he is the bastard Stark, or Snow or whatever, I think that they forget that he still grew up in Winterfell. He still had that same access to everything, and all of the Nan was there for all of those kids. We only saw it with Bran, but everybody else had that information too. So we just have to, just remember that part, because I did see a lot of people like, how would he even know? And I'm like, he definitely was there. He grew up there.
Right.
Yeah. So that's my thing. I think he knew about it. I just think he's known, and it's lore. It's they've always been told, like, all of that ended so long ago. Nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. That's just history, not going to come back. And I think true testament to the way that they teach history today. It's like, it didn't matter.
Right.
It's over now. Move on.
But that's so funny for people on the internet to raise that point and have a beef with it. Like, how does he know about that? Nigga, how do you know about it? You're in his world.
He lives there.
He lives there. What do you mean, how did he know about it? Like, what are you talking about? You sound ridiculous.
Oh, that's funny.
Come on, man.
So
where are we at now?
So Dany sees all of this, and she's immediately convinced. The moment that she was like, we're standing in the same place that they stood hundreds of years ago, like, that was the moment I knew you were about to fight for the North, because it hit her. This shit is real. This shit already happened. This shit gonna happen again. And this, you can only be so lucky to get this kind of walk into the cave that you've lived there your entire life. And clearly these girls ain't Arya running around in caves. Like, I guess she didn't live there her whole life. Never mind, I take that back. But, nobody was running around like Arya. I feel like Arya and Tyrion know every little teeny tiny crevice and hole of their homes. And all of these other people just, like, went to their room and went to eat dinner. Like, they didn't do anything else. But in that moment, Dany was like, oh, shit, this shit real. Okay, so I'm going to help. I'm definitely going to help when you bend the knee.
Yeah, she's a full mess. Dany's a full mess.
Here I am clenching my teeth like I'm sure my jaw hurts from it. Like, if you don't fucking move on right now. Like, if you couldn't get the bigger picture from John talking to you about how this is imminent danger for everybody, this isn't, Cersei coming with a little gallon of wildfire. This is literally thousands of dead things. Like,
yeah.
Do not worry about the throne today. Now you worry about killing these things or saving everybody so that you can be the queen for everybody that you are already going to be. You know what I mean? Like, that is not the right time. Where are your priorities?
What I had a note, and I'm on speakerphone again, so I'll speak up. And my question was, and it was posed to everybody else on the panel, because I don't know. Why is it so important for John to bend the knee? Is there, like, something more behind that? Is that something she's learned from her brother, father? Like,
I think that there's a lot that goes with that. I think that, like you were saying last week, she is old-fashioned in the way of how royalty is supposed to work. And then, as Afro has pointed out, she has fought so hard for this that she's like, I'm not giving allegiance to someone who's not giving allegiance to me.
Right.
for the allegiance that I want, like, I feel like she thinks that John is trustworthy, but she also has all of these people that believe in her. And even if they don't necessarily, these are all different kinds of tribes. These aren't people that all follow and subscribe to the same rules that she does. But there is that kind of bigger notion of, I'm the leader, everyone follows me. So even within the Dothraki horde, there was, there are many calls, and everybody's got to follow their particular call. Like, so I sort of get it. I sort of get why that part is important to her. She's got all these people that are looking at her. She has said, we're taking over the 7 kingdoms. Now, what is she supposed to say? Part of the 7 kingdoms. The North is on its own, but we're going to fight for them. But they're not, bending the knee to us. Like, I get it. But they're in the same position. They are both basically elected officials. They are not necessarily this normal born, into the situation where no one's fighting it. They've both been elected, so they both have these large groups of people that they have to answer to, and neither one of them can really bend right now. Like, John's like, no one's gonna fuck with me if I bend my knee to you right now. Maybe later, not today though. I can't go home and be like, go ahead.
I feel like when sometimes people be like, oh, it don't even matter that much. It don't matter. I don't, whatever. But then you make it matter, right? You're like, it don't matter. I don't have time for that. But actually you do have time, and if it doesn't matter that much to you, then why? And he said it today. He said it in the episode. He was like, well, his response was, well, my people won't follow a Southern leader. And it's like, okay, so now we're getting to what this is actually really about. But don't pretend like it don't matter and you don't have time when
I'm with
you
you on
do,
that.
and there's
I'm with
another
you on
reason.
That. Yeah.
And I think she knows there's a bigger reason.
Yeah.
I would like to go back to something.
What's the bigger reason?
That
no. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think the bigger reason is exactly what he said, was like, actually my people will be upset if I make that choice.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
Right.
Okay, Castro?
I wanted to go back to talk about something really quick because I thought we kind of breezed past the Arya and Brienne fight.
No, we didn't get there yet. Did we?
No, it didn't
we didn't get there yet.
We didn't get there yet? Okay.
No, we didn't get there yet.
Okay, cool. Sorry. I'll wait.
Okay.
It should be next, though. I think it's almost
next.
I think
it is next. No, because Danny learns about Cersei right then after she says.
It is next. So, yeah, it's next. You can go ahead and pop that off, Castro.
All right, I wanted everybody to notice that you got to notice all of the fighting styles she's learned throughout that.
Yeah.
At the end,
Man.
when Brienne asked her, who taught you that? And she said, no one. We immediately go to the faceless man and Jack and a guard, by no one, a man is no one.
But you saw if you watch all of that. You saw Tywin. Right. You saw Syrio, because she had the fucking crazy eye.
Woo!
And that was Syrio shit. That was and that, like, fighting and we smiling.
That hand behind the back?
Right.
Listen.
The one arm
killing it.
The water dancing. There was that. There was learning how to get up. Learning how to get up after being knocked on her ass like the waif did to her.
The waif. That was definitely
when she popped up there. And also one little thing that I saw in a review show that I didn't notice. Did you notice how she was hitting all of her weak spots? She hit her knees a couple of times.
That was the Hound.
That's the Hound. Yep, that's the Hound. So, like, she is a fighting soup now. It's not just this faceless man assassin thing she got.
No, it's all of it.
That she learned through all these people. Like I just said, Tywin. I forgot about that one. The way he thinks and stuff like that. So she is vicious. And you saw how Sansa was looking at her. It just, again, I think
Sansa
it's so
stopped
symbolic.
in her tracks. Sansa straight up stopped, and that was before she even started fighting. Sansa,
she was like, "Oh no, what are you doing down there? What are you doing? What are you doing?"
To show that we're all different. All three of us are so different. And again, I'll just go back to season 1 and watching them stand in that height line, and they were all so smaller. And Sansa wanted to be this and that, and now they're all so different. And that was a great scene to show how different Arya is. Like she ain't playing.
And
okay,
so I'm going to back up a little because, okay, you was about to say something, Am?
I was going to say
no,
that
I
also.
was. Oh.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The way the scene ended with Sansa being upset, to me, that was like, an immediate throwback to the first season, where that was both of them fulfilling what they always wanted to be. You know, she always wanted to be this fighter. She always wanted to be the tomboy. She was never trying to be, you know, a lady or any of that. So it was just her revisiting that disgust for what Arya has always wanted to be, and finally became that. It's like, okay, fine, you killing people. Nobody got time for that. I'm out of here. And she just dipped on it. It was like, all right, Sansa, you got chilled up.
What was up with Littlefinger's swarmy lip quivers and things of that nature? Because he was doing that too. Like, he's so fucking slimy.
I have a theory on that.
School me, thank you.
So first of all, Littlefinger knows that Arya knows a lot about him because Littlefinger and Arya saw each other when she was with Tywin. And remember, he was like, oh, and there was a conversation happening where he recognized Arya, but he was, you know, doing his shit. So they gave each other this look, but I also feel like Littlefinger's in this position where, like, I don't know. Okay. Littlefinger's like the new boyfriend of the mom. And, like, all the kids are fucking staring him fucking down. Like,
you're right.
Whatever, nigga. You ain't my daddy. Perfect. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't my daddy.
Right.
It's like, that's it.
I don't have to listen to him.
I don't have to listen to him. So I think Sansa stopped in her tracks for two reasons. One was the shock of seeing her sister, like, you know, back on that shit. The other one was that Arya is fucking fly as fuck, right? Arya fucking leveled up in a day, and I think she looks a lot like Ned Stark. Like, she was dressed with a lot of Ned used to dress, even down to her hair. And she was fucking, like, leveled up in confidence of, like, let's battle, like, let's rumble. Like, you said you know my mom, like, didn't you swear to my mom and that she was going to take care of both her kids? So, like, show me what's good. Like, you can't fight this nigga. You know, he corny. Like, train me.
Right.
And Brienne was like, you're going to need a knife, sword a little bigger than that. She was like, nah, I'm not going to poke you. You good.
I won't cut you. I won't cut you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, y'all. Something floating. Sorry, something. I'm gonna hold on to it, but something just hit me real heavy.
Well, you should just go ahead with it.
No, bro, you're gonna have to just do it now.
So Arya, I think, is the perfect candidate for Jon to finally admit that, hey, I got killed and resurrected. Like, I think he'll tell her, like he hasn't told anybody else in the show. You know, they haven't talked about it, but I think he'll have a moment with her, like, I died. And she's like, what? You know, like he'll finally say it out loud. Because he hasn't even dealt with it. Don't y'all agree? I feel like Jon hasn't dealt with it. He hasn't dealt with Beric. He hasn't dealt been like Beric, then, you know, where a piece of me is gone. They're not making him act like a piece of him is gone, like Bran per se. So I think that'll be a moment. It just hit me, you know, when they see each other, that will come out then. Sorry.
Yeah.
But Af, what you were saying before about her kind of like channeling Ned, that was 100. You're 100% on with that. Even to the way she approached the entire situation, coming in with the fly line, that was Ned's thing. Ned was always just dropping lines when people walking through, like, what's good. For her to just come in and be like, you know, don't even fight somebody like that. It was like, oh shit.
Right.
And the outfit,
seeing it all come back. Oh my God, totally mad.
And I think that line was a throwback to something else. I don't know exactly what line she said, but I feel like it was a callback.
Oh, it was.
Sorry, y'all. Callback. When Davos and Jon are walking, and he says, how many men we have? And he says, 10,000 or less? And Davos says, fewer. And that's a callback to Stannis always correcting. He did that 4 times, like, correcting everybody and said less, fewer. And they go, what? He's like, you know, but he's one of those brain over the room grandma whores. He couldn't help himself. And he did it to Davos, and now Davos is doing it. That's a direct callback, and I picked that one up. He said fewer instead of less. Oh, yeah. That's
we should go to that with Jon and Davos, and Sir Davos talking, and Missandei.
Didn't we do that?
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
Yeah,
we
did. Okay.
We did.
Okay, yeah, no, we're now at Castro. When back at Dragonstone, when Tyrion has to tell Dany.
Oh, big moment, and I'm in the next one too.
Man.
All right, I'm gonna stand up and charge.
He's back in action, ladies and
he's
gentlemen.
back.
So set the scene. Sicily, 1912. No, that's some Golden Girls. So they come out the cave. They're little whatever. I'm not buying it. And they come out the cave, and Tyrion and Varys, which has become a common stance for them to bring bad news. They were standing next to each other and like look at each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In between pauses and shit, pregnant pauses, as I would say. So they come out and they say, we got Castle Rock, and she said, that's good, isn't it? And they look at each other, and they admit that, you know, Euron, even though they didn't mention Euron by word, which I thought was interesting, but they said they took Castle Rock, but they lost Highgarden. So then Dany goes into what I thought was really interesting. Every time something goes wrong, more the Targaryen comes up. So then she starts being like, I lost, which is true, she lost the Reach, Dorne, and Yara, and the Iron Island. She said the Iron
Island, yeah.
And based on your little plan. And then he's like, it's a good, solid plan. And then she turns on him and says, is it really? Are you really executing this plan? Or are you your family, not my enemy, your family? Or, you know, I thought that was ill. That was an ill moment.
Yeah, that was strong.
Say, you know, that's your family, because we do revisit that a little later in the episode. So it's like, you know, who are you really for? Are you one of those people that's self-defeating, like Thanos? He has to lose and shit like that? Are you trying to make us lose? Because we're taking some big fucking L's. And I'm looking over the horizon and my 3 dragons playing, I don't know, fetch with a goat. And we're sitting on this island. And she said, I've been sitting on this island while we're losing. I'm losing this war while I'm losing,
right.
You know, I'm trying to follow protocol. So then we move to then she asked Jon some advice. Even though he he didn't give her any specific battle plans, but I thought that was good advice. He's saying, you know, people are tired of the shit life they've been. Like, we go back. Them flea bottom people are suffering still. I know it's a big macro look, but suffering. They just had the War of the 5 Kings. The land is still recovering from all of that shit. So, you know, maybe you can be different. She was different in Essos, right? She was going against their whole regime, the whole slave city, breaking that shit down. So when she comes here, she has to break it down too. It's not, you know, we would love to see her just, you know, blow everything up. But again, that's not political. That's not a good political.
And I think that was great that Jon said, like, yo, first of all, your people are seeing you do, they follow you because they've seen you do stuff that other people haven't. They make you made them believe in something. So do something different with that. Like, don't do the same shit.
Don't be normal. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, be a dragon. That I didn't think that when Olenna said that, we have to expound on that thought. She's an old woman. She doesn't just mean, you know, rise and burn. She means, you know what I'm saying, be something. Like, we could take it the metaphorical way. Be something nobody has ever seen before or haven't seen in hundreds of years, you know, when she says be a dragon. So then we move on to, and somebody else can jump in before I talk about the battle, because then we move to Theon coming back.
Yep, Jon and Theon.
A lot of reunions we're seeing. Think about, people haven't seen each other since season 2, which is probably longer in, you know, actual time. So we're seeing these people bump into each other. They're so close now, and everything's so packed. Like we're in the middle of the continent, because we're not dealing with the North just yet. We will next episode, but we're all there. We're at Dragonstone. We're at the Reach. We're at Castle Rock. We're at King's Landing, right there in the middle. You know, right by the neck or whatever. Also, don't forget, Mira going home means she's going back to her father, Howland Reed, who was at the Tower of Joy, who knows who Jon's father really is. So they're gonna. That's the whole thing. Remember, I told y'all that the Reeds have a floating, moving castle, and they're never in the same place, and they control the swamplands, which you can't get through. You just get lost. So hopefully we get to see that probably in season 8 or something. But like Howland comes back, because you know he was there, so he knew Ned when he was a kid. So So all right. So Theon hits the shore, and again, this is a reunion we haven't seen since season 2. And the last, you hear about things. You burnt these fake kids, or you almost killed my brothers, and you went against Theon's main connection was Rob. And it just seemed as soon as Rob went off to battle and Theon didn't go with him, that connection started to thin. It's the same as, like, I guess, high school best friends or college best friends. When you graduate, you're not really keeping in touch like that. You're not keeping those threads strong. So he started.
Well, no, I feel like because Theon grew up like a sibling almost. Like,
he did.
He was a servant in ways, but they treated him with a lot more respect than that. And I remember that mostly from that moment where they all got the direwolf. Theon was just kind of like, I wish I had a direwolf, you know what I mean? But John did get one. But, so, and I feel like that is the difference between when John saw Littlefinger and when John saw Theon. It was like, you fucked around and betrayed me on so many levels, but the only reason I'm not going to fuck you up right now is because you actually helped my sister get free.
Yep.
But they had a long stare-off. Right.
But again, I think if you remember back then, they always was a little conflict there. Because it was like he was ace with Rob, but with him, he would always poke at him. Oh, you take the runt.
Yeah, he would talk shit.
Take the runt, talk shit on John a lot. And like I said, so then also there was that scene, again, he's drifting. So when he was on the boat fucking the Gap Tube bitch, I'll just bring that up just because he was such a sleazeball. I remember that. So I remember not feeling sorry for him for what Ramsey did to him. And then remember he got undressed literally by his father. And all of that started changing him. And now he's back at Pike. He's old enough where, like, let me reclaim my heritage. Remember the whole battle he's been having? I'm not a Stark. I grew up with them as a warden, but I'm a Greyjoy. And shit like that. So I thought all that was important. And even seeing him come back, because, again, we know he's Reek incarnate, but he's wearing a Theon skin right now. So,
I'm still hoping there's a heroic moment for him where he, like, I feel like there's a reason why he's still around, and I'm hoping.
You think there's redemption coming?
Yeah,
I agree with that. There has to be a reason he's still kind of around. He could have died a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
And I feel like it's foreshadowing a little bit. Because everybody be like, oh, I thought she was dead. And he was like, oh, well, I actually got away. And they're like, well, you should be dead. They've said that several times.
The cowards always live. Y'all know that phrase? Like, ideal, the cowards always live. The meek are the ones that always inherit, in terms of, like, the ones that didn't do anything. They have to live with that grief and that guilt that they didn't help. So, I mean, I think it would be a little typical in fan service to see him have I hope it's a heroic moment in death. Like, he pushes somebody out the way, like, and really gets burned or hit with a spear, something like that. That would be a nice little send-off for him. Because he's had a long arc, too. Like, God, again, all of these people are so different from the last time they saw each other. So we didn't even get to how different Theon is from from when he sailed off. And remember, Rob sent him to get the Greyjoys on his side. Remember, that's originally why he went home.
Right.
Rob said, go talk to your father, see if you can get him to fight with us. Because at that point, the Greyjoys weren't involved, really. So, yeah. All right, so we get that.
Real quick, I just want to can I just interject really quickly on piggyback on what you said about their arcs have been so long and so much has happened since they've seen each other. And I think it's hilarious, at least so far, that's just all they say. Like, Sansa and Arya were like, yeah, we got long stories, bro. All right.
Right. Here we go. Here we go. Another one of these.
Like not at any point was that an opening to start talking about it. Like, they were just
nah.
Yeah, it's been a really long road. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
That was right. That was
at the
mad.
End of all of this.
It was like, I ain't see you in a minute. Yeah, man, I ain't seen you in a while,
Right.
What you been up to?
You been good? You been good?
Nah. It's been kind of ill these last 10, God. You know what I'm saying? Like, so look, at the end of the series, at the end of episode 8, at the end of season 8, they're all going to sit around with hot cocoa around the werewood tree. Say, hey, I got raped. a number of times. Oh, I got stabbed and died and woke up. Oh, well, you don't have a dick anymore. What? You don't have a dick anymore? You know, like that type of thing.
I want that scene. I want that scene.
I do too. I'm very so much. I would definitely watch the credits to see that after credits.
Yes.
Perfect. All right.
Yes.
Woo, I gotta stand
All
up
right,
again.
Castro, bring us to the battle.
Okay, y'all. So I don't know what they're gonna call this. We did see Loot Train a lot, but I call this the Field of Fire. I think that fits.
I like it.
So mind you,
made up your own name. I think it's called the Loot Train Battle.
It's called the Loot Train
Battle.
Definitely. No, because I know the internet community as well as us. We're in that community. We're coming up with the Field of Fire. We're coming up with a better name than that because we named the Purple Wedding when Joffrey died. And the Battle of the Bastards is something we were saying before that even happened. So, and so the next thing we're waiting on is Clegane Bowl. So that'll be perfect. So we see Bronn and them, and you mentioned that earlier, the great Tarly line about whipping stragglers and stuff. And so, I didn't like that they got the gold to King's Landing. I didn't like that. I thought that the gold was going to get stopped.
Right.
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 I didn't. They sent it ahead, but that's smart. You do send that ahead. The grain can wait. And again, they were still messing with the people harvesting the actual crop, not just the reserves they had.
Mm-hmm.
So they're moving along, and of course it's Bronn, which is, again, I think MVP of this episode by far is Bronn.
I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
definitely.
no question.
Just a lot of things, and we're getting to all of these. First, again, with the beginning, him just laughing at Dickon's name. We're going to get to that. He says it again. He just busts out laughing. And Bronn says, "You hear that?" And I was just, first of all, that's when I started clapping, and I was in shock to see all of the Dothraki cover the whole horizon, all on horseback, yelling like it's an African modern dance 2 class.
But they heard them. It was like you could hear them before you could see them, right?
The rumble.
And that rumble, the vibration, and then you hear their yelling. Then you hear and it's like, that's unfuckable.
They've never been to Westeros. So not only is the dragon, which I'm about to mention, something like you've never seen. You've never seen these Dothraki hordes in Westeros.
And do you remember, I'm sorry, do you remember Robert Baratheon being like, you would be a fool to fight the Dothraki in an open field?
In an open field.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Only a fool. Only a fool.
Yep, only a fool.
Another thing I want to get to, so then Jamie starts calling the arms, shields, and line up, put the lines up. But their shields aren't the same as the, Bolton shields. They were built better for creating a line with that, the curve.
Yeah, little phalanx.
It was a whole rectangle, and they dug it into the ground. The Lannister shields that point went to a point. You know what I'm saying? So I guess they would you can use them that way, but obviously the Bolton stuff works better.
The Bolton had a wall. They could make a wall with their shit.
They can make a straight wall. So they line up, and they're like, we can hold it. Bronn is telling Jamie, yo, get your ass out of here and go back to King's Landing.
Get home.
We about to get
home,
stormed. You see this? You see this shit? Yo, you need to roll. And Jamie, being the soldier that he is a soldier. He's more a soldier than he is royalty. Remember, he worked for the Mad King for years.
Right.
Absolutely.
And now this is his army. He said, I'm not going to leave my army in battle, even with one arm tied behind my back, literally. And then here they come.
No, because Bronn was like, hey, Sam, let's go. Let's roll. We just need to get back to King's Landing real quick.
Right.
We're going to get there.
Bronn was sending him. Bronn was Bronn told him.
Yeah, Bronn was still going to stay.
Oh, I thought he was saying the two of them.
No, that's why
he was sending them.
That's why he's the MVP. Yeah. He's working against type. Every move Bronn is making this episode is against type. So then here they come. They come over the horizon. There's so many many of them. The CGI is perfect as well as when they had the other shot behind them, there was like 80 rows of them. And they're all on horseback. Not horsemen and archers and spearmen. All of them got horses.
No. Yes.
So here they come. Jamie and them are so confident. Jamie tells Bronn, we can hold them. And then you hear,
Oh, but wait, Castro. What? Before that, even before the dragon, remember they showed that sweeping view of the front line, and that soldier was trembling like hard as hell.
He was shaking, like literally shook.
The one right behind him, the guy right behind the trembling guy, was a musician celebrity. He threw a spear. The one that threw the spear and it hit the horse and it fell back when they first hit, that's like some musician. He made a cameo. I read about that. So then you hear the dragon, I guess snark or whatever, and here comes Drogon.
Oh my God!
Huge fucking dragon flying over the Dothraki horde that you've never seen before, and you saw Bronn and Jaime's face. Like, it's literally like seeing Santa Claus with reindeer with laser beam eyes. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? And it's coming
like
closer.
gun.
And it's not disappearing in the smoke. It's coming closer. Hold the line, everybody. Fuck this line. I'm out of there.
Right.
I'm a black man.
Everybody needed to
I'm
go.
Out of there.
Yes, everybody needed to take cover.
She takes that first little back out to clear a line for the Dothraki to roll the fuck in. And now I'm like, y'all wanted to see her? You see what happened is you wanted to meet me, and now you've met me.
Here I'm in.
I was laughing. I was like, they wanted to meet you, Daddy. Now they gonna meet you. I'm screaming at the TV. Drogon looks perfect, so beautiful. This dragon. Then let's get back. I'm gonna get back to it. So then we go back to the Dothraki hordes who do the horse formation and jump on the horses. All the horses is galloping, shooting arrows with this knee leaning formation. I'm sorry, y'all. I need a moment.
Hold on. The synchronized the synchronized galloping was out of this world.
That was
for
ridiculous.
them to all stand up. I don't think my mouth closed from that moment on. Like, it was like they didn't all just stand up and shoot an arrow. Oh my God, they did. They did. They did. That was some of the most beautiful.
If y'all go on HBO or HBO Go, they have a behind the scenes of those scenes in particular. The dragon run. The way they coordinated the horses.
Yes.
But they, they have this harness that made them jump up on the horse one leg and shoot the arrow. Oh my God, I was like blown away. So I'm just watching this thing, and then Drogon comes back up, and makes another pass. And starts blowing up the whole fucking wagon trail. And first of all, so last season, in this little tidbit, there were 11 scenes with Dany on top of the dragon. 11 CGI scenes when she was riding the dragon. In this one episode alone, there were 80 different shots of her riding the dragon.
And her face was out of control.
Oh, my God. I was scared.
Yeah,
I was scared.
She had the snares on, like she was getting mad. Like I felt like when things were happening to Drogon, it was like happening to her. When they so then Jaime's like, all right, I'm a soldier. Archers with me. Line up an archer line, and she flew down on them, and then then stopped to show all the scales underneath him, and all the arrows just bounced the fuck off. So then
they were like, okay, so what's that?
I didn't expect it to be like this, and I think Qyburn is the man for this. That scorpion harpoon shit, the fact that one motherfucker can man it, I thought it was a whole thing, and then like 5 people low, and then it's just fucking Bronn the illest swinging that shit. Come on, like where you at and shit like that. Aiming, shot one at her. So, cause look, he pulled the thing and it dropped down. First, sorry. The Dothraki chasing Bronn, and they're mirroring the scene from the Battle of the Bastards where Jon was caught right in the mix, and Bronn's just grabbing a sword out of a dead nigga, slicing this guy, and doing this. But before that, I'm so sorry, this scene is all over. Before that, you seen when he was riding towards that other Dothraki, and that motherfucker did that sideways saddle and cut the leg off of his horse. Come on, man.
That was amazing.
Goodness.
That was crazy. Goodness, that was so dope.
So then he's chasing Bronn. Bronn's running around. Bronn gets back to the scorpion and shit, right? Which Jaime told him to go get because he can't fire with one hand. The Dothraki dude opens it up, and he shoots him with a fucking harpoon right in his heart and shit. Then he pulls back the one cover, and you notice when you watch the shot again, he kicks the other cover. Fuck this shit. Let's go. I'm in the game. Loads this shit up. Oh, my goodness. And shoots one bolt at Dany. She sees it. She targets it. They fly back down. And I got to give credit.
She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right.
And then they
like,
come with the other bolt.
Just shoot a bolt at me?
Yeah.
He loaded that shit back up and fired another one and caught Drogon, I guess, right in the shoulder, right in the wing. And I thought they were going. I was like, oh, shit. And then they get back their balance. Drogon flies down, burns the shit, and then cracks it with his tail. She gets off. Again, okay, so to go back. Did you notice that there were soldiers that were turned to straight ash, and then the wind was
immediately.
There were soldiers that were ripping off their armor because it was burning them. Their skin was peeling. There were soldiers running to the water because they were just on fire.
And there were soldiers just melting, just standing there melting.
And of course, then you got soldiers getting cut. Did you see the one Dothraki dude with the two things on either hand just swinging them? Like he was in a car wash, just cutting motherfuckers. And then you see fucking Jaime surveying all this. What is this reminding him of? The Mad King. When has he ever seen people just on fire in front of him? The Mad King, Targaryen, this other Targaryen. They got Drogon flying back and forth over the top, burning shit. Oh, my God. And then... Whew. So I thought Bronn might have died when he fell off the horse and all that running.
Yo, I just swore Bronn was going to die. I was like, this is it for Bronn. Like, I was saying it out loud. I was standing up and screaming. And I just knew Bronn was going to die.
Then Jaime picks up. Then Tyrion is watching this. And then there's a moment of pause for Tyrion because he's literally seeing his family lit alive on fire.
Yep.
Those are his
There was foreshadowing because when they were talking to Daikon earlier, they were like, yo, so how was that battle for you? And he was like, oh, it was cool. And they were like, not for real. And he was like, I knew a lot of people on the other side. There were family. Some of them were cousins that I grew up with.
Yeah, that was rough.
Tyrion experienced the same thing. Maybe not cousins, but definitely like...
Right.
Bannermen,
but
people you grew up with.
Yeah, people you grew up with.
And then the Dothraki dude said, oh, your people can't fight. That was
your people can't fight.
What I'm saying? Yeah. People can't fight for shit. And he's literally watching his family be obliterated. So he's at a crossroads. And what Dany had said to him earlier, which I don't believe is all the way true, but watching his colors getting melted, his soldiers that his father led and Jaime led, just watching them get obliterated. Because this is obliteration, y'all.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is obliteration. But I do think that, Tyrion tried to steer her away from just burning shit down, but...
She didn't burn no innocents. She burnt the army right out in the field.
Right, but I think that Tyrion was definitely ready to see... He knew his people were going to war. There was no question about that. But seeing your brother, seeing Bronn, who those are the people that matter the most on that field to him. On the other side. So I think it's, it definitely, the macro look is, holy shit, that's my colors, those are my bannermen, that's all my stuff. But I don't think that he really identifies like that as a Lannister the way that Cersei and Jaime do. I think he's looking at that like he did, like he said, get the fuck out of there, Jaime. What are you doing? Don't just leave. Just leave and get safe.
And you know what? The
other specific. Go ahead.
The other point to that is, this is the first time Tyrion has really seen Dany in that mode, like really unleashed and just getting it. Like I remember, like as I was watching the Afro, you popped right in my head. I was like, I know she is just like losing her mind. Afro has been waiting for this moment since these dragons were 6 inches long. She's been waiting. She's wanted everyone to get burned up all the time. She's like, 6 these dragons. And now that it's happening, and I remember just watching it, like they really know how to develop these characters, and they're delivering these moments to us amazingly. Because it wasn't the first time I saw a dragon on screen. We've seen dragons happen all the time, but for whatever reason,
but they were more
Connery
heroic moments. They were like,
right.
she's saving these slaves, she's saving these people.
Even like I was just saying, like in general, like in other movies, like we've seen dragons, we've seen this done before, but it was something about seeing dragon. Right, it was but something about seeing Drogon and Dany and attacking this moment. It was like me and Morgan, like mouth wide open. I was just like, what is happening? Oh my God.
The things that are resonating with us, specifically in this episode and kind of echoing through the season, is the maturity. We watch these little kids grow up, not just have these growth spurts on some, Harry Potter shit, but we watch them. We watch Drogon grow up and the special effects get better. The special effects look so much better than the Colosseum, like light years to me from when she first flew on Drogon's back. Then it got better when she took over Marine and they blew up the ships. But, like, I'm watching so many shots of this. We watched Drogon grow up, Dany grow up, Jon grow up, Bran grow up, Sansa. The only people that stay stagnant are the adults that we met back then. You know what I'm saying? Like Littlefinger, Varys, people that had that age. But we're watching all of this maturity, and it's been leading us to this fruition. Now they're bumping into each other. The Jon and Theon bump into because they're all grown up and coming back together. So we knew early on they were split apart. They were split to the winds. Remember that one episode where we realized they were all going in so many different directions when Arya was going to Braavos and Cersei, Arya was going in the opposite direction. Sansa, Right, and all of that. Just everybody going in different directions. Jon all the way up by the wall, whatever it may have you going north of the wall and shit. So just maturity, I think, is the overall theme, and fruition. Like seeing all these people come, Dany actually make it. Like how long we been watching just to make it to Westeros? You know what I mean? They dragged out on it. So just seeing everybody come to their full power. Jaime, look at his arc, what he's been through, losing a hand. That's just a minor thing. The road trip with Brienne, learning about himself. Cersei, she's always been muted by her brothers, by her father, and now she's unleashed. And she got the Iron Bank eaten out of her hand. You know what I'm saying? So just to see all of this growth, and that's why it's so giddy, and it's always fan service. These whole last seasons, because we're finally seeing all these things we wished for could happen, actually happen, and the consequences of such. And and so Jaime picks up that spear.
Right, to close the episode out.
Starts fucking charging.
So listen. The second he looked at that spear. Oh, okay.
Before we go there, I just want to say that during the battle, I really appreciated seeing all of the different vantage points. Because you got Tyrion's perspective, you got Dany's perspective, you got Bronn, you got Jaime, you're on horses, you're on the ground, you're up on a mountain, like you're getting all of it. And I thought that they did such a great job of like not just giving you all the perspectives, but like the individual's perspective, which was really fucking dope.
Did y'all see the tracking shot when Drogon was gliding right above the water? When he
it was beautiful.
Oh my God! Beautiful. Wings spread, and he's like coming in low like a stealth bomber on the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like Benioff said, but he said, what if you had an F-16 and you transported it to medieval times? That's what it was like when they saw Drogon coming and Drogon making these straight runs. And I watched if y'all all get a chance, please watch the behind the scenes of that scene. That was amazing.
We watched it.
And I watched because I watched the whole episode again today before the call, so I just had to. It was very. It's not very. It was incredible. And also, you notice that's the end of previews. All of the previews that were set up for this season have been in these 4 episodes. So from here on out, we're seeing all new footage. We didn't see anything in the preview. We've seen it all, like this, the dragon flying over the Dothraki. We saw that and all that shit. I think we've seen just about everything that they had included in the previews, which I say they've done a masterful job. Because I still don't know anything. Next on Game of Thrones, they don't give you nothing. That'd be the first 5 minutes of somebody stopping shit. And then it's a whole episode of whatever, So so we see. All right. So we see. And you had that point too.
So so we see Jaime assess the situation, and he's looking at the spear sitting there. He's like, all right,
Okay, all right, I'm gonna make this move. The second he did that, I was like, no, what are you? I feel like you're not taking this seriously.
Doing?
Yeah, I feel like you're just not taking this seriously, bro. That is a whole, like, do you honestly think Drogon's going to let you get close enough to pop anything off right now, dude? Like, what is wrong with you?
I think that might have something to do with what Castro alluded to earlier, where that whole scene for him, watching all these people burn, was much like seeing the Mad King. So it was like, oh, shit, we got to kill this bitch. She crazy than a motherfucker. So it wasn't even like thinking. It was instinct at that point. Like, because you saw his hesitation, but it was like, oh, somebody got to do something. Like
somebody got to die.
It was this weird, like, in this moment, Jamie, that if you get that close, you are likely dead too if you kill it. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just like, I'm gonna shoot my shot.
I think he's also scared as shit of Cersei, and he gotta make sure he can say, "I tried to kill the bitch myself."
Right.
You know what? Yeah, there's no way he can see her.
Cersei is
in the open on the ground and not take his shot. There was no way.
Take everything else back, and that's it.
That's it.
That's all.
Because
take
he
it
can tell
all
you
back.
right.
Fuck the Mad King. It's all about Cersei. You are absolutely right.
He could tell Cersei all of what happened, and then the dragon came through, and they burned this, and we lost all our forces, and I had a shot at her, but then this happened, and she go be like, wait a minute, but you had a shot?
So you had a shot?
Right.
That's typical female listening to about her man. And Elizabeth, and then I lost my leg, and I couldn't find it. Oh, wait, what about that bitch Elizabeth? Who's that? Yeah.
So who took you to the hospital, and who did you call?
Right.
Yes. I don't care nothing about that damn fuck leg.
Right.
Who took you to the hospital?
Right.
Because I'm the one who has to take care of you. Who the bitch did you call?
Right. And if you lost your phone, whose phone did you call me on? Who's this?
Right. Whose number is this?
Whose number is this? So you mean to tell me my number is now in her phone?
Exactly, yeah.
So now my number is in her phone?
Wait. I gotta find my notes. I gotta go to my notes. Hold on, y'all.
Yo,
hold on.
Y'all been in that position too many times.
Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah. Y'all sound too close. It sounds too close.
Okay.
No, I have literally said, well, you tell that bitch to
you tell her to drop you off
hypotheticals over here,
okay? Tell that bitch to come get you.
Exactly.
She don't need to take you right up to it.
No hypothetical here either.
Yes, very hypothetical. So I got a note that so Jamie's charging, right? Jamie's charging, and even Morgan, you broke it up as one of the stupid ass Jamie as one of the topics and shit. So he's charging, right? And at this point I'm so into it I forgot about Bronn. And I'm like, he's getting closer. He's getting closer. It's kind of heroic. He's running through water. Now the water is a lead to, so they're at Blackwater like reach or something similar to that. Like so right where Blackwater Bay can reach to them, maybe a lake or something. So that's why it's deep that way. And he's charging and taking his shot. And then I see Drogon turn and open his mouth, and those two little holes he has inside of his mouth.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? And then you saw that red coming gurgling up his throat. I said, Jamie's going to die. Like, Jamie's going to die. Like,
this is
he's
it.
really going to die. Like, this is it. What was that little Cersei? You start wondering about Cersei. How's she going to take this? Oh, we're gonna keep moving. You know how Cersei is. She's cold. And I was like, this motherfucker's going to die. So, because at first,
right now,
my note says,
he's going to die right now.
Right now.
I thought Bronn was going to die. My notes say, thought Bronn was going to die, and then thought Jamie was going to die. OMG, best episode yet again. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. And so I'm watching. Exclamation point, that's right. And so I'm watching.
So do we think that's Bronn that saved him? Right?
Yeah, you remember when Bronn finished his ordeal, he looked at this white horse that was right in front of him. And it was somebody that jumped off a white horse to grab Jamie and didn't have any full armor on, and that's Bronn wearing the leather and shit.
Yeah.
Now, mind
I rewatched that
when he
just for that this morning.
When he jumps jumps Jamie into the water, Jamie is in full armor, has a golden arm, and still has both his swords. So he's really thinking. He's not like,
going down.
Wakes up and he's going to swim back up. He can't swim back up. Mind you, for his story, somebody's going to pull him out. Now, the question
someone's
is
going to pull him out.
Ron, or is it going to be Daenerys? You're my prisoner now, and this
is
the second time he got captured.
Right.
Or Dickon's been holding it down.
Dickon come through one more time.
Dickon has armor on too. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying they had like a reach or a lake of the Blackwater, body of water.
Well,
so
that's
why
the thing.
He's falling so deep.
Yeah, and honestly, Dany could be looking at it like, okay, well they did, so and hop up on Drogon and bounce. Like that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
which would allow someone else
to shows
that she's still there. It does.
That she stands there and talks to all of the surviving people and say, you can either I'm not here to kill you, but so you can bend the knee, or I'll kill you.
I'm not here to kill you, so bend the knee, or I'll kill you.
Or I'll kill you.
Okay.
You know what it reminds me of?
It's to be done.
Anime, the Ike Turner story, when he said when Anime is being wheeled off to the hospital, which the movie messes with my mind. When she's being wheeled off to the hospital because she's having a nervous breakdown, her body's breaking down, he whispers to her, "You better, you're gonna make it. You better make it, or I'll kill you, bitch." And she's dying. You're gonna tell her you're gonna kill her anyway. The Ike Turner story classic.
Right.
That's what
comparison.
That's the name of the movie. It's the Ike Turner story. It's not What's Love Got to Do with it. It's the Ike Turner story.
Oh.
Believe me.
Gotcha.
Believe me when I talk. Believe me. So then we have seen. And so amazing episode. Top 5 all time. Top 5 of all episodes. Top 5.
Yeah.
So I did. My last thing to say is that I did think it was a little bit of bullshit that they had the fucking dragon technology with them there and the arrow and all that shit. But then I remembered that in the beginning, Jamie was like, you can't have this castle. Daenerys could come here tomorrow and take it. So maybe in some ways they were preparing for her and were more prepared than I thought that they were. I was also confused when Jamie was sinking because I was like, nigga, just get up. But I forgot how much armor weighs, and I was like, oh, no, he is really going down. I like the point that you made that she might save him. I didn't even think of that. I thought that Bronn might save him, but, Bronn might save him and then she still might take him, or maybe they escape or something like that. But I find it exciting that Jamie could be a prisoner again.
Yeah.
Also, remember, Bronn lost his gold when he fell off.
Yes.
Yeah. Gold. And that's what I was saying, going against Type, because other Bronn would have snacked the gold and be like, fuck this. Or would have just been like, fuck this. You know what I'm saying? With or without the gold. But the fact that he kept fighting, he was looking at himself like, I saw him question himself like, all right, I guess I'm in this shit. He started busting ass and running and surviving and doing his thing.
But it also wasn't just a regular battle. Like, there was fire fucking where. So even if you wanted to just get your goal and roll, it was really live or die more than regular.
You didn't really have action at that. He didn't really have action at like, oh, let me swoop that up and then dip out real quick. Like he didn't. He didn't have that.
He did have a long look at it, like shit.
Yeah.
Like,
he definitely did.
I'm looking at the goal, and shit like that. And I thought it was amazing. All right, is this better than Battle of the Bastards?
Hold on, before we move on to that though, piggybacking off of what Afro said, and also I think me and Morgan were talking about this too. There was talk on the last episode about how prepared these guys are. It seemed like they may have some spies on the other side because the Lannisters are just way too prepared. It always seems like they're out fighting. Mm-hmm. And I think them having Scorpion there, again, it's just really reminding us this is a military family. These people are strategists. This is what they do. Mm-hmm. This is just what they are always prepared. As, because remember, this wasn't part of the plan. Dany decided at the last minute, we're going to go after this. We're going to go find them.
Right.
So from the rip, Jamie's like, just in case, let's have that Jarl. That's, I mean, I just feel like we're constantly being reminded of how the Lannisters have maintained and how they've always just been at it. You know, they're strategists on and off the field, period. Because, I mean,
so they took the Scorpion with them when they went to Highgarden and just had it with them just in case this dragon thing does actually really pop up. And
exactly. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? I know. They had it at Highgarden. Like, that's crazy. Like, dude, that's all types of prepared. That's dope. That's real dope.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point.
So what are the predictions? I felt when this episode started, I said Arya is going to get to King's Landing in this episode, and I was really happy that actually happened, especially because we keep talking about the pace.
Winterfell.
Oh, sorry, it's the Winterfell. Because we keep talking about the pace and how quickly everything's moving. So
Theon.
Ooh, Theon.
That was another example of the pace. When it happened, me and Morgan started laughing. It was like, you see how quick he got back to Dragonstone. Everybody's
true.
Everybody's on the L.
Everybody's on warp speed and shit. Yeah.
Everybody's they on the mega bus.
Uber is making a killing. Uber is making a killing in Westeros.
Yes.
They're transporting everybody. Uber helicopters and shit, dropping motherfuckers off and shit. Where is Gendry? That's what I will say after every podcast. Where is Gendry? Is it relevant for Gendry to pop back up because he is a Baratheon?
Exactly.
So,
I feel like he's coming back. Like, he can't just sail away. He's got to be coming back. And I've felt like that for a long time.
Wow.
Right. But I think he don't have a claim to the throne anymore, though. Because, that again, remember, we're talking about, Daenerys being traditional. She's always called Robert the usurper. So he's never had the royal claim. He's always been the usurper in the rebellion, but it worked. But in her eyes, in her brain, that stuff is still fraudulent. So a Baratheon don't hold tight. Even if Gendry does pop up.
But what would hold is a Baratheon bending the knee to her if he came into the picture and was like, I am a true Baratheon, and this is my throne, and I outward Cersei, and I bend the knee to her.
Yep.
Well, very true. Very true.
All right.
What's happening in Dorne? Like, who's running Dorne? Who's gonna?
I think they're headless. Remember, she killed everybody when she took power, and now she's gone. Ain't nobody come back. All the sand snakes are gone. They're done. I mean, they're just probably just be inactive. Maybe they'll pop up like Gandalf on a mountaintop with horses running down with one ray of sunshine. Maybe. No. I don't know, but I think they're out the game. We're watching the families get eliminated for a reason. We're watching some get totally extinct, like the Tyrells and the Boltons and things of that nature. Like, these houses are done. These are going to be the books that we read 1,000 years from now. Remember House Tyrell, just like House Rain. The whole Reigns of Castamere song was about this one great house that the Lannisters helped take out, and they'll be in song, but they're gone. There's no more Tyrells. There's no,
I'm still traumatized off of Olenna, honestly. That's just like, come on, man. Like, we're really, it's really the end of House Tyrell. We're really not going to see her anymore.
And we didn't think that would happen then. That was that Kansas City shuffle move from Jamie. We didn't think that was going to happen then. I didn't think we were losing Olenna. I didn't think we were losing Olenna. She's older.
Not then.
I didn't think she was going to die. Like, I thought she was, eliminated maybe. After the War Council meeting, I didn't think you would see her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she goes back, just like, she did when
she goes home and she's chilling. Right.
So, I do think it was a great cliffhanger having Jamie sinking and then going to black and silence. I thought Brown was the MVP of the episode. At first, I said, I have some notes. I said, the Battle of the Firefields was epic. To see Drogon in action like that, and that harpoon wasn't shit. Qyburn gets no love for that rickety thing. But that, that was on my first. that was on my first watch. It is a powerful weapon. If they have like 5 of those things in King's Landing, the way it swivels, you see Bronn swinging it around like that's. I think, like we said, preparedness. They're ready. They're ready for all these contingents to the point they're just bringing the shit with them, whether they need it or not. And so, probably some more to that. Maybe wildfire projectile. That's hard to deal with. They got Wildfire. So I just like that it's not going to be as easy as we thought it would be. Season 6, episode 10, with the Armada coming across the water, and I loved it. I loved it.
Just bring a dragon. Just bring a dragon to the party, and everybody has to bow down.
And this changes.
Have to take 2.
Yeah,
it changes.
This changes Daenerys' whole perspective too. I have 3 dragons. I could just go in there and rock shit, but you can't.
Right.
You can't.
So now we have to prepare for these harpoons. So that means we have to take the 3 dragons with us to fly flank, to lay cover fire, literally. But I think also to see the power of, again, watching Drogon mature and come to fruition, of his fire flame. This is 30 feet high. Like, he's killing, 20 people. And remember back in the Coliseum, he was getting 4 or 5, and he was turning his head and spraying it. Now he just does that shit from the air and just blows up 20 people at a time, 40 people. That's
wow.
And it's 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? What they did to them boats in Marine wasn't shit. When I saw those people on fire and burning and turning to ash immediately that's something. So I think the field has been even with the Scorpion on Cersei's side and the Dragons on Dany's side, but I think now we're coming to the full brunt. Next episode I think is more about the White Walkers, but this is actually a real war. The War of the 5 Kings, remember we were so splintered and following so many different road stories. We got pieces here, but we didn't see the battle where Robb captured Jaime. You know what I'm saying? They made us skip some battles we've seen after, but now we're seeing the battle because everybody's fighting on either side. So there's nothing for us to skip, and so I'm here for it.
All right, so predictions. Let's wrap up predictions real quick.
Okay.
Anybody got any solid ones for next episode? You said you think the White Walkers are going to be in the next episor.
Yeah,
right,
I think it's going to be the East Watch by the Sea thing. I think Tormund is already there. Bran is going to warg into some ravens and see the army of the dead going towards East Watch. So I don't know if Jon will hurry back and get that way, but I think that's going to be the focus of the next episode. It's even called East Watch. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know how much will be devoted to that. I think we'll get a little bit more Littlefinger next episode. I think this is Littlefinger rant time. We're past the halfway point. So, I think we'll see that. And also, if they're going to bring somebody in from left field, whether it be the Golden Company or Gendry, next episode would be a good time to do it. I don't want to see somebody pop up and...
Okay, and this has been a great show, everybody.
Fucking shit. He couldn't keep it. He couldn't keep it.
He can't do it.
So no one agrees.
You and your White Walker support.
No one sees.
You just can't.
No one sees Benjamin coming back so quick. It's just a prediction. Everyone's got their own predictions. It's mine.
Is it a prediction?
No, everyone's got theirs, and you got your White Walker fandom. Jesus, whose side are you on? I went for real.
Vengeance.
Whose side are you
Vengeance.
on?
I'm on Vengeance side. I'm on Vengeance side. Whatever
he's on Vengeance.
Last we saw Vengeance, he was getting prepared for this. So maybe he'll be at the East Watch. That would be kind of cool.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but he can't. No, Am, calm down, because East Watch is on the other side of the wall. And remember, Benjamin can't cross the wall.
He can't cross the wall. But he can walk around it, just like the White Walkers.
Yeah. Catch that train. You can catch that train, smoking. Oh, my goodness. All right, y'all. Let's wind it down. Great episode, everybody. Reintroduce yourselves. Again, I'm Curly Castro.
I'm Aphrodisiac.
I'm DJ Ambush. Hey.
And this has been A Podcast Has No Name.